Florida State is everybody's preseason #1 and out to take care of some unfinished business. A year ago, Florida State ascended to the heights of college football, only to be bested by a perfect champion. The Seminoles of '99 remember last year's defeat to Tennessee and seem to have the will and the weapons to make this year a different story. All-America wideout Peter Warrick passed up the NFL paycheck, and 27-year-old quarterback Chris Weinke is back as well. Today, Florida State takes on a team that knows something about the passing game, Louisiana Tech. Quarterback Tim Rattay threw for 590 yards against Nebraska last year. It's the Seminoles and the Bulldogs now on ESPN2. Doak Campbell Stadium, 80,000 plus. What price victory? How about $500,000? Auburn, without Terry Bowden, paid that much to avoid this opener against Florida State and Big Daddy Bobby. Florida State ready to go against Louisiana Tech. And we are underway. College football is here. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Brian Kenny, John Makovic here. We're ready to open up this college football season with a doubleheader. We've got North Carolina State and Texas coming your way at 8:30 Eastern time. But first, game #1 of this season. Boy, do Coach, a double take when you look at the schedule. Arizona, Penn State. We're not worthy right away. Day one, we get this game.
Oh, don't you love to start the season this way? Two heavyweights, Penn State, Arizona playing. Penn State, a great victory today. They have fired the first shot in this national championship race.
Let's take a look. Linebacker U seems to be back. We go to Happy Valley for this one. And Arizona coming into this game with a 9-game road winning streak. But look out, it's going to go away early. Choppy Fields in motion, takes the handoff. He's going 70 yards all the way in. 3 runs for 110 yards, 3 catches for 76 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. It's 14-0 Penn State. Later in the first quarter, where's everything? LeVar Arrington there. 7 tackles for Arrington. Linebacker U, Brandon Short, Mac Morrison, and Arrington, the All-American, of course. It's all Penn State, 41-7, and Coach, that's 7 points in the last minute of the game.
Yeah, it's a throwaway 7 points, too. Penn State dominated this game from the beginning.
Meantime, Notre Dame is underway as well. They lead Kansas 20-6. Coach, the Eddie Robinson Classic. Notre Dame slipping this one in on Michigan.
Well, they are a healthy. Jarius Jackson has run for 1 touchdown. He's 5 for 7 passing also.
Meantime, 12 straight years in the top 4 for Florida State, trying to keep that going. They are #1 going into this game against Louisiana Tech. We throw it out there right now to Tallahassee. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, and Chris Marlowe. Gentlemen.
Brian, thanks, and welcome to Doak Campbell Stadium, where some 80,000 Florida State fans can't wait for the Seminoles to launch their latest campaign for the national championship today in their opener against Louisiana Tech. And we welcome you to Tallahassee and our 21st year bringing you college football on ESPN. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry. It's almost old hat for Bobby Bowden. The 5th time in a dozen years he's been the preseason #1. He's only been a postseason #1 once. That was '93, the last team to be pre and postseason #1. No one's done it wire to wire. Can that happen this year?
Very good question. Wonderful question, David. You might ask me if it were 1973, if Secretariat had a shot at the Belmont. Yes, they can do it, but the question is, will they? Bobby Bowden has the first 2 legs of his magic Triple Crown. He has built a dominating program. He has won a national championship. But in his 33 years as a head coach, he has never had an undefeated season, and he would love to do that.
He's very surprised, as are most here, to have Peter Warrick back to launch what he hopes is a Heisman campaign. He won't be the only guy doing that here today.
Oh, no. There's a Heisman campaign for Tim Rattay, the outstanding quarterback who led the nation in passing a year ago with 4,893 yards, 68% percentage of completion. So I think this Florida State team is facing the greatest equalizer in college football today, which is rhythm passing. If you can set up and throw in rhythm, it negates the great pass rush. I think Florida State will be tested here, and we'll find out, along with Coach Bowden, whether or not this team has the capacity to give him that magic 3rd gem in his Triple Crown, an undefeated season.
Louisiana Tech has been in some hostile climates before, but in the 90s, none is tougher than Doak Campbell, where in 51 games, Florida State has lost once and tied once. Kickoff coming up.
Hey, you made it. Relax. She's looking at your beer.
He knew that. Bolder, richer, creamier. Killian's Irish Red. One look says a lot.
Trouble doesn't wear a watch. That's why State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
Back in Tallahassee, Florida State, the preseason national championship favorite with a 40-game unbeaten streak here at Doak Campbell Stadium on the line against Louisiana Tech. And right now, let's welcome the third member of our crew on the sidelines today, Chris Marlowe.
Thanks a lot, Dave. 9 months ago, Florida State quarterback Chris Winkie fractured his neck in a game against Virginia. Now, interestingly, after the surgery, Winkie was in the hospital for 6 weeks. He couldn't move. He was unable to go to the bathroom. His brain was leaking fluid. He lost 30 pounds. Even his mother said he looked like a scarecrow. Now, amazingly, he has recovered completely from those injuries. The doctors have given him a clean bill of health, but he's been wearing the green jersey. He hasn't been hit yet. Today, he is going to be hit for the first time, and when he does, this huge Seminole crowd of 80,000 will hold its collective breath. Dave?
Well, Bill, he hasn't been hit on purpose yet.
Yeah, this is the thing that most people don't understand. Coaches put these quarterbacks in green jerseys, and you just keep telling these great defensive players, please don't touch him. He's your friend. The guys don't understand that when you get to go in full speed. So Chris has been banged around, and I think he really kind of wanted that. And I think he feels very confident of his ability to take a shot. The other thing is the O-line is much improved at Florida State, and they don't intend for him to be hit today.
Seminoles have won the toss and elected to defer, so Winkie will have to wait a while at least for his 99 debut. Bobby Bowden going to turn 70 November 8th and says he feels and still has the enthusiasm he had 24 years ago when he took over here. He will become the 5th 300-game winner in history when he takes his 8th victory at some point. Jack Bicknell would love for his first game, replacing Gary Croton as the Louisiana Tech head coach, to be the biggest upset in school history. He is the son of the former Boston College head coach, now in Europe. And we are underway. Sebastian Janikowski driving John Simon to the back of the end zone. The Bulldogs will start after the touchback from their 20. And this was the best show going last year. They led the nation in passing, second in total offense behind Tim Rattay, who had the third best single season passing yardage total in the history of college football last year. Tellin Pratt will hope to establish a ground game. James Jordan hopes to replace Troy Edwards, who had as good, if not better, receiving year as anyone has ever had last year. Up front, they're led by Joey Schutz, a senior, a 6'7", 310-pounder. And they hope to give Rattay some time. He has time, and circling out is John Simon. And the first play from scrimmage goes 16 yards for the Bulldogs, ended by Sean Key's tackle. And defensively, Florida State was as good as it got in college football a year ago. Second against the rush, first against the pass, and against total yardage. 215 total yards allowed last year. Second in scoring defense. Most that piled up those defensive numbers returned this year. Bulldogs without a huddle. Marker down. Rattay again for an open Simon, and chased out of bounds by Brian Allen near midfield. 15 more yards on their second play from scrimmage, but they had a flag at the line of scrimmage just prior to the snap. Our referee today in Tallahassee, Joseph Ryder, and this one comes back. So the Seminole defense will line up this way. Corey Simon, a returning first-team All-America, 16 tackles for loss. That is phenomenal for a defensive lineman. Reynolds, Johnson, Seymour join him. Tommy Polley, the only full-time returning starter at linebacker, but they're more athletic at those positions than they were last year, they feel. And in the secondary, they return the ACC leader with 6 interceptions a year ago. Mario Edwards gave up only 1 touchdown pass all year. It was to Tennessee's Peerless Price. It clinched the national championship for the Vols. Little turn in, and the first catch by James Jordan. Short yardage to about the 38. Tay Cody with the tackle there. And Bill, Bobby Bowden has more than a healthy dose of respect for what Rattay's offense can do to his defense, even as good as they are.
Yes, indeed, and we've already seen the very reason that he has that respect. Uncanny accuracy, an excellent scheme, and a way to get the ball to a variety of players.
Shotgun draw for Bobby Raytell, maybe a yard. Could be no gain. Quick penetration by Simon, showing his All-America form at 6'4", 275, the leading returning tackler from a year ago. And 3rd and 9 coming for the Bulldogs from their 36.
Obviously, Dave, the draw play is a staple of the run game for this kind of offense.
5 wideouts. And Delwyn Day bumped into his own man, now breaks free. Had enough balance to take it all the way to the 44 of the Seminoles for 19 yards.
And Jack Bicknell III, the young head coach in his first game going against Bobby Bowden, who, by the way, is coaching his 383rd game, David, is got to be pleased with the way his team has come out and executed. One big mistake, and it was made by Joey Schutz, cost him a 5-yard penalty because he didn't get up on the line of scrimmage. Other than that, they've been flawless, catching and executing.
5 wides again. Sean Cangelosi went in motion. Rattay's toss on the run is incomplete, intended for Devon Long, who played junior college ball in Scottsdale, Arizona, with Tim Rattay. He was covered by Reggie Durden.
Yeah, Devon Long is not one of the guys that has played a lot of football, and he's the first Louisiana Tech player that I've seen that's shown a little case of nerves there. All he had to do was look that ball into his hands, but he jumped when it wasn't necessary. It was thrown slightly behind him, but he should have come down with it.
This is about as conservative a look as we'll see from them. I formation, only 3 wideouts, and the tailback Bobby Raytell right into the arms of Jamal Reynolds, the defensive end from Aiken, South Carolina, who takes Tony Bryant's spot along that front four.
The offensive coordinator for Louisiana Tech, Clint Conk, was very upfront with us last night. He said, we are going to run the football on these people. And I was a little surprised, frankly, that he was so forthright about that. But they're going to line up. He said the question is whether or not we have to bring in 2 or even 3 tight ends to get that job done. That time they were in a base 3-receiver I formation.
3rd and 10 to keep the opening drive alive. Jordan is run down. What looked like a promising play will net them only a couple of yards. Tommy Polley, ultra quick from weak side linebacker, running down James Jordan.
If there's such a thing as a typical Florida State linebacker, Polley would be it. Big, fast, mobile, active, good open field tackle. Got this drive slowed down, but Louisiana Tech has done a good job of gaining field position. They'll kick Florida State deep in their own territory.
And that was Peter Warwick. Multiple threat. Standing at his 10, waiting for the punt by Caleb Price. Price angling, trying to keep it away, even though it costs him a touchback. At least it won't cost him a long return by Peter Warwick. Seminoles will have it on offense for the first time when we come back to Tallahassee.
ESPN, happy 20th anniversary.
Hey, I'm at the hottest club in Chicago to talk about dandruff. Hey, anyone got dandruff?
No, I haven't.
Oh, enough.
Yeah, whatever. Someone's lying. No, flakes are normal and they're easy to get rid of, big guy. Hey, you want to get shampooed with Dandruff Control Perk Plus?
Oh, serious? It's like 12 o'clock at night.
It helps prevent dandruff. So even if you don't have it, you won't have it. And I think you're going to want to use it on a regular basis.
I love it. So nice.
Oh, baby. That's Perk Plus Dandruff Control. Come on, let us wash your hair. We can change your mind.
Here at the first hole of the Cooper Tire Invitational, a tough par 8,000, dogleg left from San Francisco over the Mojave. A quick update. Earlier leader Arnold Palmer in front of a pesky giant O. Then he found the rough, and lots of it. Yet he seems to be moving along quite well. Bill?
Thanks, Jim. Arnie, what are you using on this rough terrain?
Cooper tires.
All right, you heard it. Arnie, line 6020.
The world is your course. Drive on.
Quitting time.
Beer?
Zima.
Zima.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Killian's Irish Red, which reminds you one look says a lot. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Seminoles are ready, and Chris Winkie is ready for his first action at quarterback since a near career-ending neck injury against Virginia last November. And right away, wasting no time, here's Peter Warwick. Sure tackle by Freddie Lewis will limit him to a gain of 8 yards on first down. Warwick hoping that he can end this year the way Charlie Ward did here in 1993 with college football's most coveted individual prize, but not the reason he came back. He wants to end it as a national champion. Passing up the NFL million. Swing pass is incomplete and ruled not to have been a backwards pass intended for Travis Minor. It was close. Jerome King putting some pressure on from defensive end.
Let's take a look here. A backward pass in this situation would be a very serious mistake and the kind of thing that might happen with a veteran quarterback. We can see the angle right here, and it's very close as to whether that's backward. Not very good drawing, but a pretty good look at the play.
3rd and 2. This one is swung out for Robert Morgan, who turns it up as a first down and a lot more to the 39-yard line. 11 yards for the sophomore from East Point, Georgia. And now let's check the Seminole offense. Lining up in the backfield with Winkie, Travis Minor, returning first-team All-ACC pick, their leading rusher the last 2 years. Just a junior. Seems like he's been around longer. Warwick with only 1 catch in the Fiesta, but still their 4th all-time leading receiver. A chance to set every record they've ever had here in Tallahassee this year. Minor with his first carry and right into the arms of the big defensive tackle Chris Willis. Pickup of about 2. The offensive line for the Noles, all 300-pounders. Whitaker, the only senior, returning first-team All-America, who did not allow a sack all of last year, and joined by Brandon, Amon, Moon, and Thomas. High formation. Minor trying the other side this time and cut down for a loss. Quick penetration. Quincy Stewart from weak side linebacker.
Quincy's the zip linebacker, or the outside linebacker to the open side, the will linebacker. He shoots the gap here. This is called a rundown blitz. He's being followed by 51 Damon Harrington. It's their favorite stunt with the cross between the linebackers, unblocked linebacker in the backfield. Big play for Louisiana Tech if they can capitalize here and get this drive stopped.
His favorite stunt because it works like that so often. Ross bringing up 3rd and 13, going deep up the left side, and a flag incomplete on the dive by Warwick with Rod Pernetter making contact. There is no bigger challenge for a DB one-on-one with Warwick.
Pernetter knows he's in trouble here, and he decides this guy's not going to score a touchdown. I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep him from catching this ball and running in the end zone. So with a 15-yard penalty, the way the rules are today, that was probably a wise decision by young Pernetter.
Boy, you know, even with the penalty, Warwick still almost makes the count.
Well, Warwick is not a regular mortal. I watched him practice Thursday, and he practices like an All-American. He practices. That's what young people have to understand. If you want to be a great player, it's not enough to have ability. He practices as if he were a true freshman trying to make the team. He encourages, he pushes other people. He makes a difference in this team in a lot of ways.
New wideouts, Talman Gardner, Anquan Bolden, promising freshman Jermaine Stringer all checking in. This is a limited gain up the middle for Travis Minor, and we check the Louisiana Tech defense, which took some slings and arrows last year. They expect to be better this year. Otis Pitts, returning senior, 315-pounder in the middle. Damon Harrington, the middle linebacker, their leading tackler last year with 119, had 15 in this opener at Nebraska last year. You've already seen Lewis, who had 5 picks last year, 13th in the country. Minor turned back from the line of scrimmage as the free safety Michael John Leonard came up and got joined by Carlin Thomas, the left end 92.
Now Michael John Leonard is a redshirt freshman starting his very first game, and he's up in there in the action and he's enjoying this, and he made a nice hit and he hit the back and knocked him back. They're going to pick on him. They're going to do a little play action and throw one deep on him, and it won't be long.
And look at that, 41% converting to third downs last year from the fast break look, shotgun, and on the money with just enough for the first down to warrant a precise pass and a precisely run pass.
That's right. In the open, we were talking about the precision of the Louisiana Tech passing game. We should never underestimate the precision of Florida State. These guys have been doing this sort of thing for a long, long time with a lot of people. Winky is certainly sharp, and Warwick is right off to his Heisman Trophy campaign in good form.
Play action, and Winky again going deep one-on-one is Warwick, and no flag this time, and he can't believe it. He thought there was contact from Freddie Lewis.
Yeah, there was contact, but it was Peter that was making the contact. If there'd been any interference call there, it would have had to be on Mr. Warwick. He's good with that little push like all great receivers are, and he got away with it that time, but there was no interference on the defense. Now as he accelerates, he wants to go by. He's the guy that pushes with the outside arm and then turns and signals as if it were the defender.
Minor with the toss sweep out of one ankle tackle. Should have a first to be very close at the 29. I think he's going to have it, a pickup of call it 11. Jerome King chasing him down from defensive end.
We hear a lot about the exotics of Florida State's offense. This is a normal toss sweep. He wants to cut back off this tackles block with a lead blocker here and turn it up the field. That's exactly what he does. And McCray finally gets untracked and gets out in front of him and makes something happen too.
High again, toss the other way for Minor. And the Bulldog line penetrates and sticks him for a loss of about 4. Otis Pitts and Jerome King. Pitts with 9 tackles for loss last year. That is a big number for a nose guard. 4 sacks also.
Louisiana Tech's defense has committed to being more aggressive this year. Tom Masello, the new defensive coordinator, obviously has his men ready to play today.
He is a former head coach at Boston University until they dropped football a couple of years ago. Fullback William McCray is knocked out right at the 30 by Willie Shepard. Shepard, a converted running back, now the nickel back, hopes to get more playing time.
Coach Masello very wisely substituting freely. Already has his people coming in and out, resting them early in the game. You can get so exhausted in the first quarter on a hot day, you think you're not going to make it to the second quarter. If you get a rest early, then you usually have plenty left in the fourth quarter.
Florida State with a timeout on a hot day in Tallahassee. Mid-90s, but it will get cool as it gets into nighttime. No score.
With Transamerica Investments and Insurance Products, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be financially successful. The people in the pyramid working for you. At Transamerica, we have insurance products and investments for retirement that'll help you plan for your next career. The people in the pyramid working for you.
That's out of the extreme heat of the afternoon. And the news is
Beer.
Zima.
my game-winning catch? Unbelievable. Yeah, triple overtime. But with 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls, it's a low rate, no matter when I need a ride home. Whoa! Dial down the middle. 1-800-CALLATT.
For a low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Hey, kid, catch.
Gee, thanks, ATT, man.
To purchase this official jersey, visit callatt.com.
Last year, Oregon destroyed Michigan State. The Spartans now want payback on their home field.
Oregon, Michigan State at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
Hi, everybody. Brian Kenny here in our ESPN studios. One other game going on right now. Let's get you up to date at the half. Hey, Kansas hanging tough with the Fighting Irish. It's 20-13. Zach Wagner with a touchdown pass with 2 seconds left in the half. Meantime, Joe Paterno's 50th year opens with a bang, 41-7 over Arizona. Back to Dave and Bill in Tallahassee, guys.
Well, Louisiana Tech's already better than Arizona. Which I'm not sure they ever actually arrived at State College.
I don't want to talk about that.
Is that a pick gone wrong for you? Third down pass to the end zone by Winky is overthrown, intended for Warwick and off the hands of Lewis.
Not a bad idea by Winky, though. Throw it up because Peter, more often than not, can go up and snag those things. This one was thrown just a little bit too far. Warwick actually doesn't run full speed. When he pulls up there, he takes away his chance at this ball. His 40-inch vertical jump wasn't quite enough.
Well, one of the strongest legs in college football, another returning All-America, Sebastian Janikowski, 84% last year with a long of 53. This will be 48, slight angle to his left, and he has about 10 extra yards, but missed it. And Jack Bicknell out to congratulate his defense, which fought off the first series this afternoon by number 1.
And this is the kind of thing, if you're Louisiana Tech and you can hang in there, get you a little drive going, make them drive the length of the field, get them stopped, hope Janikowski's not on his best game. He doesn't miss many. He hit this well. It's just one of those little, there it goes off the upright. Dave, you were right. That was your signal. Doggone Barnett misses very few things. I just didn't know what the signal meant. Yes, the Arizona pick was a pick gone awry.
Back to that.
Fooled me, complaining about his team, and so I picked the wrong guy.
You messed up. You believed it. Louisiana Tech still scoreless. Rattay with a swing for John Simon, chased down for a gain of about 1 or 2, but one of the points of that play isn't necessarily big yardage, but to tire out the people who have to chase the John Simons.
Twofold point, David. Yes, it is that. We want these big guys like Corey Simon to be running around, and Jerry Johnson, these great defensive linemen. We want them to be running all the time so they get frustrated. So these little swing passes and screen passes for Louisiana Tech, this is the coaches talking, those are our running plays.
Again without the huddle, and Rattay on target. And again, Simon with the catch at the 36 to bring up third and about 5. The tackle made by Derek Gibson.
The important thing in this kind of football is how quickly you get the ball thrown. We used to tell John Unitas, we're going to give you 2.8, then you're on your own. This ball has gone in 1.92 seconds. Wonderful. The only way he can get hit is if there's a missed assignment. And his linemen are veterans. This is a good system.
Third and 4, they run Jordan underneath, and he stretches and has the first down to the 42.
Yes, and every play like that just raises the expectation and the confidence level of this Louisiana Tech team. Remember, they have been to Alabama and won. They have been to Mississippi State and won. They have been to Nebraska and rang up 590 yards of passing offense last year. Look at Jordan here, dragging tacklers for a first down. That's exciting for Louisiana Tech players and fans.
Shotgun draw ends in a loss of 3. This Florida State defense averages 4.5 speed in the 40.
Yeah, and there's a redshirt freshman, Chris Woods, and his coach, Odell Higgins, is really high on him. He just took the center, David St. Marie, and drove him in the backfield, so there was no play. Rattay was surprised to meet up with the backside of St. Marie about 3 yards deep in the backfield. So young Woods is off to a good start in his FSU career.
Rattay again, the quick release, and right on target. Bobby Raytell out of the backfield. They'll give him the 47. Bobby Rhodes, who backs up Tommy Polley, outside linebacker, with the tackle, and Louisiana Tech will look at another third down.
When you play defense for Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator for Florida State, you don't play unless you give great effort. These defensive linemen are trained to turn and run and chase everything. The whole theory of Louisiana Tech's offense is get the big guys tired out, so in the fourth quarter we got a chance.
One of the backfield, 4 wides. Rattay may have had his arm hit. I think he did, right as he made that delivery.
One thing for sure, David, when you see a pass that's not accurate from Rattay, something has hit him, because he misses virtually nothing in terms of being on the money.
David Warren putting some pressure on. So 4th and 5 coming, and Reggie Durden will drop back this time.
Now, this is a game that's sort of rocking along, field position game, missed field goal here, a punt into the end zone there. The question is, when can FSU crack the opponent in one of the, they constantly apply pressure in every phase of the game.
Caleb Price's first punt, a 42-yarder, but a touchback, and he kicks away from Durden too and won't get many yards, but they won't give up the return. 30-yard kick, still scoreless, getting late in the first quarter.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're gonna love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You gotta eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with both legs.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
Since 1851, the Bristol University School of Football has been an intellectual haven for asking questions and seeking answers. A place which challenges and enlightens young minds in the academic pursuit of football. Led by Dean Berman, the faculty prepares students to meet the challenges of the 21st century and beyond.
Here at Bristol University, we seek veritas, or the truth.
The Bristol University School of Football.
About 11 minutes in, we're still 0-0. Let's check in with Chris Marlowe.
Dave, the entire second unit is in for Florida State. They call this the Kentucky Derby. Marcus Outson is the quarterback. They'll run one play just to get a breather for the regulars, and then they'll come out. Let's hope it's successful for Florida State fans.
Nick Maddox went in motion. Outson keeping. 4, maybe 2.
Yeah, and Outson gave him a leg and took it away and stumbled and fell. He had a little crease, but it just continued. Marcus was going to show us his moves right there. By the way, for folks who follow FSU football, who got down on Marcus Outson, he's worked very hard. He's looked good in practice. And if they should need him to come in, I think he'll be a much better quarterback than he was a year ago. But running is not his strongest suit.
He did beat Florida a year ago.
Oh, indeed he did.
For those who focus only on the Fiesta. So Winky and the first teamers back. Deep over the middle for Morgan and overthrown, and delivering a lick was Michael John Leonard. Coming up tonight at 8:30 here on ESPN2, the BCA Classic. It's North Carolina State taking on number 16 Texas, led not by Ricky Williams this year, but by their sophomore quarterback, Major Applewhite. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. They are excited in Austin. They have a record season ticket sale, 80,000-seat expanded stadium, and they unveil it tonight. Immediately following our game, Winky play fake. Catch made by Warwick for a first down across the 40. 16 yards, Willie Shepard with the coverage and the tackle.
Very important when you play against a great player like Warwick to have inside-out pursuit to help this corner. Because Lewis is on an island out here. He may not be able to tackle Warwick. Willie Shepard comes inside out. Good job, good tackle.
Out of the eye, another play fake, and another catch by Warwick. Slips the tackle by Lewis. And still going inside the 30. If you miss him, it's going to cost you probably at least an extra 20 yards as it did this time. It goes for a total of 30.
And Freddie Lewis, number 27, is going to get back in the huddle. He said, men, do not leave me out there by myself with this monster. Look here. I thought I had a chance to tackle him. He's there, then he's not there. He's a wizard, and it's all hard work and talent, not just talent.
Boy, but Lewis has been on an island. Winky looking the other way this time. It overthrows Robert Morgan. Robert Morgan a few days ago announced he was leaving. He was going to transfer because he didn't want to be moved to an inside receiving position, but they got him straightened out. It's not going to cost him playing time, and he came right back.
Yeah, Robert didn't like that depth chart. If you've ever been a football player or a coach, you understand the depth chart is the most emotional thing next to girlfriends. If somebody sees their name in the wrong place on the depth chart, that's just like getting left by your girlfriend. So you're going to go home. Robert came on back.
Miner takes the toss, has to cut it back. There's some good penetration by Brandon Avance from middle linebacker, redshirt freshman from Mesquite, forcing that play back to the middle by Miner.
Yeah, you can see the Masella influence. The Louisiana Tech defense is aggressive, and when they make mistakes, they are aggressive mistakes. They're going to miss some tackles on Peter Warwick, but they're not just getting mashed and run over. They're playing hard, and it's encouraging for Louisiana Tech to see that. They're making a game out of this.
Really hoping they keep their confidence this year, because he says we're going to be on the field more than any defense in the country, which was also the case last year. They've got a quick striking offense, and they give up some yards. Warwick with a few more yards to the 10, and inside of it should be first and goal. Seminoles, another 16-yard strike from number 16.
Chris Winkie has not had a great day in terms of sheer accuracy, but he's set here with marvelous pass protection, steps up, delivers the ball, and he's going to get better and better. I don't think that's a very difficult thing to see. Warwick hooks up. They're giving him plenty of room now. What he's done is he's affected this secondary, and they do not want to let him get behind him. So there's going to be plenty of room up front, especially in zone coverage, which is what we just saw.
5 of those 7 completions are to Warwick for an average of 16 yards. He's got 81 already here in the first. Shotgun, they go with a reverse. And the toss to Gardner, not what they had in mind. Redshirt freshman from New Orleans, somewhat limited with a groin. He missed last year after hernia surgery. They just keep rolling out the specimens. 6'2", 195. They're all about 4'3", 4'4".
Yeah, and maybe the most heralded specimen of all just ran on the field. Number 4, Anquan Bolden. FSU fans will be delighted to know that he's now in the game as a wide receiver.
And maybe still surprised that he's not in at quarterback. Miner, ridden down by Avance, but gets inside the 5. Maybe one more snap coming here in the first quarter.
Anquan Bolden really made a big deal out of the fact that he wanted to be a quarterback. Coach Bowden wanted him to be a quarterback. He realized after he had been here a few days that quarterbacks play in this program about their 4th year. He went to the coach and said, just put me in. I'll play DB. I'll play wide receiver. Let me in the game. So that's what's happened. And Bobby begged him to stay at QB. But he is a great talent. Honest to goodness, he reminded me of a young Paul Warfield in the practice field.
Louisiana Tech with a timeout. Bolden in just his 3rd week as a wide receiver, but it didn't take him but 2 or 3 practices, and he was already drawing headline stories about catches he was making in scrimmages.
Do you remember when Bum Phillips at Houston drafted Earl Campbell, and the press said, Bum, when do you think Earl's going to be able to help the program? He said, oh, about the first day. Well, Anquan's going to help this program right now. You can tell he's just got that magic about him, and he's so smart. every coach you talk to, whether it's Jeff Bowden, the receiver coach, or Mark Rick, the quarterback coach, he picks things up faster than almost anybody they've ever had here.
Mr. Football in the state of Florida last year, and he is under the tutelage now of Jeff Bowden, the wide receiver coach, and one of the coaching sons of Bobby Bowden.
Yeah, I had fun with Bobby, who's an old buddy of mine. I said, Bobby, when y'all go on vacation and you take everybody, now Tommy's a head coach, Terry's been a head coach, does Jeff get to say anything? He said, well, Jeff gets to go on the trip, but he has to keep his mouth shut. What I'm going to do is get on Bobby now. If he doesn't go undefeated soon, he's got two boys that have both gone undefeated in Division 1A football, Tommy and Terry. He's kind of a disgrace to the family.
Isn't he?
Don't you reckon?
Still has the guts to show his face.
Yeah, Ann's going to have to get on his case. This has been a very patient drive. FSU has tried a couple of things, the reverse, the deep balls. They always test you in those ways, but they've also run the ball reasonably well.
3rd and goal. Motion by Nick Maddox. Winky into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Welcome to Tallahassee and Quan Bolden.
How's that for your first play in college football? Great talent at quarterback. Decided he wanted to go and play on the outside so he could get in the game, and already in the end zone. First touchdown of the year from Bolden or from the Seminoles.
The extra point good by Janikowski. First score. It took almost the entire first quarter. And the freshman Bolden from Winky to get the Noles on the board in 99.
This is a very difficult route to execute, to get inside Pernetta. Pernetta should never let him inside in the first place. The ball is thrown extremely low. And as we said earlier, Bolden looks like a polished veteran wide receiver, getting his knees bent down to catch the football. Being a wide receiver and catching a low ball is a lot like playing third base in baseball. You can't just bend at the waist. You got to bend those knees and have great hand-eye coordination. He obviously has all the tools.
Bobby Bowden said Bolden reminded him of Charlie Ward, only bigger. And for Winky, he has tied the ACC record with his 230th consecutive pass without an interception. You look at his year last year, he threw 6 in their only regular season loss against NC State and none in any other game they played until his injury. So still no picks since that one disaster against the Wolfpack.
I'll tell you what, though, I've been here all week watching tapes, and he threw one in the Virginia linebacker's hands, and the guy just did the clock thing. Those hands should have been on the clock. It went on the ground. So he's had a little luck to go with that, but mostly just good football by Winky.
Janikowski hangs this one up at the 3 for Arthur Jefferson, who hands to Simon. John Simon now reversing field. And the reverse doesn't net him a whole lot. Only a 10-yard return as the first quarter comes to a close, and perhaps a surprisingly close first quarter. 7-0 for #1 Florida State.
My goal is to run the mile in 5 minutes.
My goal is to bench press 280.
My goal is to hit 30 home runs.
My goal is to throw a keg over a 20-foot wall.
And if I don't, to get out of the way before it hits me in my head.
GNC's Pro Performance Creatine can help increase explosive muscle performance for high-intensity sports. Come into GNC and play the Pro Performance Training Camp game, and you could instantly win tickets to the Pro Football Championship or one of 26,000 prizes. GNC. Train hard, live well.
Need new struts? Come to Midas. Get a genuine Midas Gold strut with R2 technology for only $59.95 with a lifetime guarantee. Go safely. Go Midas.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
As technology grows and changes ever more rapidly, it's good to know there's one company whose leadership you can depend on in communications, computers, and semiconductors. Because NEC excels in multiple technologies, they can show you a broader perspective and bring you innovative solutions. It's one reason NEC has grown to be one of the 3 strongest patent-producing enterprises in all the world. NEC, at the center of innovation.
And remember, take it slow, because it's hot out there,
Beer. Zima.
What kind of rooms you got?
King size.
You got room service?
Donuts and coffee.
Got entertainment?
All rooms have every movie ever made in every language, anytime, day or night.
How is that possible?
Could your business use the bandwidth to change everything? Ride the light. Quest.
Back at Doak Campbell Stadium for the second quarter. Florida State scoring late in the first to lead Louisiana Tech 7-0. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, and Chris Marlowe. And Rattay on the give for a couple. It's Corey Addison, a freshman from Kentwood, Louisiana. They feel has excellent potential. Little raw in the first quarter. Louisiana Tech never much for the running game. Rushed for a total of -3 and threw for 62. And Florida State not establishing all that much on the ground themselves, but 97 through the air.
Yeah, I think Louisiana Tech understands that they're not going to kill them with the running game, but they've got to generate something. It's important for them to have a decent drive here.
Deep in their own end, pressure, and Rattay just did get it off. As bearing down on him from left end, Roland Seymour came rolling in.
Yeah, and Rattay can usually sort of reach around like Plastic Man and throw sidearm or whatever it takes to get the ball completed. That time, Seymour took up so much of his vision. Seymour runs so fast. He's one of those 4.45 guys. And by the way, a 500-pound bencher, and he got a shot on Rattay. So that's what they want. Mickey said, we got to find a way. Mickey Andrews said, we got to find a way to punish these people.
Tech only 2 of 9 picking up third downs, and that one's almost an interception for Tay Cody. So an uncharacteristic 3-and-out for Louisiana Tech, and it comes at a very bad spot on the field.
Yes, and it is a bad time for that defense to have to run back on the field. Exactly what Tom Masella said. We're going to be on the field a lot. We just have to display great courage and aggressiveness. That's going to happen with a passing offense. But that was not an opportune time. And what Florida State does is they keep hammering you, pressuring you. They want to make you crack. They may rush this punt. I think they probably will. They look like they're coming.
David Price will have to kick it from near his goal line. They come after him hard. And a whistle and a marker before the snap.
False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat 4th down.
Now, all those big old 4-5 guys get lined up on you in a punt situation and get their rear ends up in the air, and you're liable to jerk just a little bit. That's exactly what happened to the punt team for Louisiana Tech, and they haven't broken under the pressure of FSU, but cracks are beginning to appear, David.
Maybe more bending as this game goes on. No real breaking yet. State special teams hoping they can force a breaking point right here as Price will have to kick from his own goal line. Snap is perfect, and he gets it off with no problem. Warwick from his 49 and room to roll. Well, that room closes up in a hurry, and 2 markers are down as Warwick reaches the 46 on a 41-yard kick. He returns at only 5. Excellent kick coverage by the Bulldogs.
Very often when you're going to rush the punter, you just tell your returner to fair catch it because nobody's blocked. They should tackle him easily there. There should never be a long return on an attempted block. There's a holding call against Florida State, which will put the field position back a little bit, but they're starting in very good position.
Holding on the return team. During the return, 10 yards, be a first down.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports at 2:30, number 9, Ohio State battling number 12, Miami, in the kickoff classic from Giants Stadium. Boy, today, Arizona, Penn State. 2 more in the top 15 tomorrow, Miami and the Buckeyes getting underway on ABC. Big opening weekend in college football. Knowles with Outson getting his second play from scrimmage and going deep. Incomplete and almost intercepted by Lewis, intended for Jermaine Stringer. Outson for Stringer, who did not have a catch last year, had 9 2 years ago and averaged 22 yards on those 9 catches.
This is an underthrow. Just as surely as I brag on Outson, he comes out, and this ball, had it been thrown deeper, had a chance to be a completion, but it was underthrown. Nice play by Lewis to recover. Winky back in the game.
Well, the second look at the Kentucky Derby. 11-man line change by Bowden. Low snap, Winky pressured by Otis Pitts, got it off underneath Warwick to midfield. And let's go to the studio and Brian Kenny.
Thank you, fellas. Earlier today, Arizona and Penn State. This one a big one to open things up, and Happy Valley ecstatic now. Kevin Thompson to Shoppy Fields here. Where's the tackling? 41-7 the final. Penn State pummels Arizona. Meantime, Notre Dame leads Kansas right now 20-13. They're in the 3rd quarter. Let's send it back to Dave and Bill.
Yeah, I didn't see Shoppy Fields' name on any of those preseason Heisman lists. Maybe should have been. He acted like it should have been.
I think Shoppy is responding to his coach, who's been criticizing the receivers all offseason.
They ran wild today. This one is juggled and almost intercepted by Pernetter, and he had 6. If he hangs on to this one, they're not going to catch him. Broke perfectly in front of Warwick, or in front of Bolden.
One of the things that you have to learn as a defensive back is to change directions quickly, break on the ball, and then catch the ball. We've seen Tay Cody, number 27 for FSU, and now Pernetter, number 3 for Louisiana Tech, drop sure interceptions. Maybe that's why they're on defense, David.
And all the good hands people they need on offense. So the second time they've gone to that Kentucky Derby, and the second time it has not worked for them. Quick 3 and out. And the punter on the field for the first time, Keith Cottrell. Angelosi decides to return it from his 10. Reggie Durden knocked him down after a 40-yard kick. Early in the second quarter, still 7-0.
I want to wish a happy 20th anniversary, ESPN. Keep it going, guys.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
Today we're talking about sportsmanship. In this play, the player who scores a touchdown takes a curtain call by taking a bow. What's the penalty and where do we assess it?
I'm grateful that Michael Garcia is in our lives.
State Farm, Mike Garcia speaking.
We had a house fire, house burned.
That was a tough day.
They didn't treat us as a policy holder, they treated us as a neighbor, as a friend.
I gave him a check right away. We went from there to putting the pieces back together.
He's not a hero in the sense of a sports hero or a movie star. He's a quiet hero.
He looks out for everyone in the neighborhood.
It's gone from being a slogan to really being my way of life.
Today we're talking about sportsmanship. In this play, a player takes a curtain call. 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the PAT.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
FrogDog.com, your anytime, anywhere sports store. Frog Dog.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by FrogDog.com, your anywhere, anytime online sports store.
Tim Rattay and the Bulldogs are right about where they were on their last series. Too close for comfort to their own goal line. They start from their 11. Rattay hanging one deep for Daig, and Delwin almost made a one-handed grab. Stride for stride with him. Mario Edwards, the senior corner.
You just can't help but be impressed with Rattay's accuracy. The ball was thrown exactly where it should have been, over the outside shoulder of his receiver. Mario Edwards was not going to catch it. He might break it up, but if anybody caught it, it would be his receiver.
Rattay 8 of his first 13, 62 yards. This one for Cangelosi is just overthrown, and he was open. He had beaten his man Reggie Durden. Well, Jack Bicknell III a few months ago got good news and bad news. Good news, you're the head coach. Bad news, you open at #1.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not sure I would have picked these guys for my very first game, but once it was scheduled, I got very excited about it because of the tradition that Florida State has and the pageantry, and our kids in our program love to go in and play these big games because it's something that you remember the rest of your life.
Rattay threads that one, and this is good for the first down to the 26. 15 yards to Cangelosi. Bill Curry has some particular empathy for the position that Jack Bicknell finds himself in today.
September 1980, my first game as a head coach was in Legion Field against Bear Bryant and the #1 ranked Crimson Tide. So I know exactly what young Jack is thinking. I hope Bobby is in a real good mood today. That's what he's thinking. He also got to be proud of the way his players are performing in this game.
Rattay almost dropped that one, just does get the handoff executed for Corey Addison, and a near disaster ends in basically no gain. Thought he had a good attitude about it, though, talking with him. And you hope that for his sake it penetrated his team, and he was going in saying we have nothing to lose. We've been in these type situations before and not embarrassed ourselves, so let's have fun and see what happens.
Yeah, they've been in these situations and have won. I mean, they won at Mississippi State. They beat Cal and they beat Alabama, and it's true those schools are not Florida State, but those are worthy opponents. They competed well against Nebraska and Arkansas.
2nd and 9. Short yardage, not a whole lot there that time for Alan Stark, his first catch. They traced it back actually to a couple of years ago. They think this program, or this group of players in the program, mentally turned the corner. A close loss to Arkansas, a win over California, and a win at Alabama taught them that they are equal to these type challenges.
Well, I think you see it out here reflected today in their performance. They're playing with some confidence. They keep after it.
Big 3rd and 6, and the ball is tipped and still caught by Day. Somebody had a hand on it just out of Rattay's hand, and Daig with good concentration brought it in for the first down to the 38.
One of the most important things that's going on is the pass protection. It is just excellent. Good job. Good pickup of the stunt right there on Jamal Reynolds, number 58. Broke inside of that 4.5 speed. Schutz picked it up beautifully. Number 66, the veteran tackle, the leader of the offensive line. Those guys are doing a good job of protecting their QB, and Louisiana Tech is in this football game.
That ball was deflected by the nose guard, Corey Simon. Still found its way to Delwin Daig. Bulldog drive, still alive. Daig again, and this one he can't hang on to. In between the coverage of Edwards and Sean Key that time. And a marker is down from about the spot where Rattay delivered the pass.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat the down.
Number 53, Corey Simon, is a returning All-American defensive tackle. He's lined up on 78. That is a old-fashioned hog tie right there by Terrence Sykes, number 78. Terrence, they're not going to let you get away with that. Corey is not going to be happy with you. He may hit you in the mouth next time for dragging him on the ground. also costs your team a bunch of yards. Got to keep your hands in, move your feet, can't get lazy. Tough against great defensive linemen.
They tee off again on 1st and 20. Cangelosi at midfield, and he got all 20 and then some.
Yeah, and this frustrates the defensive lineman. David Warren had a great pass rush. Warren's a guy that can fly. He's Earl Campbell's nephew. He comes beats the tackle right now. And this guy, Rattay, is so quick. Watch Warren, number 99, is in there instantly, but a perfect throw right into the seam. That's the fade pattern, or the corner to the fade area. And when you can throw on the break, the receiver had not made his break when that ball was released, but he was there when the ball got there.
Bulldogs may never have another Troy Edwards, but they like the possession receiver they have in Cangelosi. They feel that in the deep, dark moments, they can go to him, and he can be their go-to guy.
I don't think Mickey Andrews is going to be particularly happy with this first half. His defensive linemen and linebackers are getting handled a little bit. Now, this is a draw play, which is a staple. The offensive lineman simply set up. There's Mickey. He'll be waiting for him when they come off next time, or he may send some in for him right now and have, there he goes, little discussion with the group. Men, that's not going to do it.
He does get animated. John Simon got 6. Rattay underneath. Alan Stark. Ball is dropped and recovered at the 44, although they may say no fumble. I think they're going to give him the yardage to the 41.
They're going to call him down there, and Tommy Polley delivered one of those vintage FSU linebacker licks. Bradley Jennings, 44, is the guy with a reputation for being the thump. That time Tommy was the thumper.
It is enough for the first down for Tech. Maybe their most impressive drive since their first.
They'll get Alan Stark over there on the sideline with the physicians and the trainers and see if he can remember what day of the week it is before they let him come back in here. But this is not the FSU defensive performance that their coaches were looking for. I can tell you that. They'll need to pick it up.
Whistles before this play can get underway. And this may have to do with the scoreboard, which has gone out here at Doak Campbell Stadium. Although the play clock is still functioning. It's apparently not connected to the scoreboard, and it was down to 2 seconds. So while they straighten this out, let's check in down below with Chris Marlowe.
All right, Dave, you know, a lot of defensive coordinators like to station themselves up in the press box during the games. Well, not so for Florida State's Mickey Andrews. He told us this week, I've got to be on the field so that I can look my players in the eye. He also said that sometimes the threat of a good choking is necessary. Of course, he was kidding. But Mickey Andrews, definitely an old school coach. Back to you.
I played against Mickey in college. He was at Alabama. I was at Georgia Tech. And those Alabama guys understood the principles that Coach Bryant taught. He was a defensive back. One of them ran down a real fast receiver one time, David, and he was asked after the game, how were you able to catch that guy? He's faster than you. He said, well, that guy was running for a touchdown. I was running for my life. There's a difference. Mickey understands that principle. And I really don't think he's happy. I mean, his defense is not playing the way a Florida State defense normally does. And it's true that Louisiana Tech's whole scheme is designed to keep you off balance with the quick passing, and what seems like just an inconsequential gain suddenly becomes a 14-yard, then a 20-yard gain, and Rattay just keeps picking at you.
What about the no huddle? Is that having an effect?
I think it does. I think the D linemen don't like that. They don't like to get up off the ground and get lined up. I'll promise you all the big guys were happy the clock went out.
It's back. They've got it fixed. Terry Pratt carries, senior from Shreveport, brought down by Tommy Polley.
Number 32, Terry Pratt, the ball carrier.
There are a variety of coverages being used here and a variety of player combinations with nickel packages, dime packages, meaning 6 defensive backs. When I say nickel, I mean 5 defensive backs. Some terminology is different. Dime usually indicates 6 defensive backs with 3 or 4 down linemen and the rest linebackers.
4 wideouts. Rattay looking up for Cangelosi. He makes a stretching grab at the 13-yard line. He will never be confused with Edwards in a foot race, but they feel he can be their go-to man, and they go to him for 24 yards.
Here's the flip side of the release time. Rattay believes in his lineman, so he's not throwing it in 2.8 seconds. He's holding that thing 3.3 seconds. Normally, he can't get away with that, but he has the instinct to feel that he has the time. That route takes a lot of time to develop. It's a post corner. He gets it to his big wide receiver, Cangelosi, and Louisiana Tech is on the roll.
3 catches for Sean Cangelosi, and timeout called by Florida State.
On any road, in any kind of weather, you can find yourself out of luck with a flat tire. But not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you keep driving to safety. Goodyear Aqua Steel Run Flat. It could be the difference between finding yourself out of luck or finding the safe way home. Aqua Steel Run Flat, only from Goodyear.
Hey, did you see my game-winning catch? Unbelievable. Yeah, triple overtime. But with 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls, it's a low rate, no matter when I need a ride home. Whoa! Dial down the middle. 1-800-CALLATT.
For a low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Hey, kid, catch. Gee, thanks, ATT, man.
To purchase this official jersey, visit callatt.com.
Hey, I'm at the hottest club in Chicago to talk about dandruff. Hey, anyone got dandruff?
No, I haven't.
Oh, say no. Yeah, whatever. Someone's lying. No, flakes are normal, and they're easy to get rid of, big guy. Hey, you want to get shampooed with Dandruff Control Perk Plus?
Oh, serious? It's like 12 o'clock at night.
It helps prevent dandruff. So even if you don't have it, you won't have it. And I think you're going to want to use it on a regular basis.
I love it. So nice.
Oh, baby. That's Perk Plus Dandruff Control. Come on, let us wash your hair. We can change your mind.
Last year, Oregon destroyed Michigan State. The Spartans now want payback on their home field.
Oregon, Michigan State at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
Louisiana Tech has driven it down to the 13 of Florida State, and they have the attention of the fans. And you would think the Knoll defense, which has been back on its heels this entire drive. Rattay 6 of 8, 3 of those tosses complete to Cangelosi. This one is for Simon, and it is caught, and it's a touchdown.
And we have a football game here, David. These guys not only are not intimidated, they're playing with confidence, and they are executing better with every drive. The Seminoles have their hands full. Beautiful execution by Rattay and Simon. Nice job up front by the big guys to keep those powerful, fast defensive linemen from Florida State off the QB.
Kevin Pond with a chance to tie it up. He is not Mr. Automatic. He was only 5 of 9 last year on PATs. Drills this one. We're tied. Rattay to Simon, 7-7 in the second quarter. In all of a sudden, a very quiet, stunned Campbell Stadium.
I'm a student, and I do a lot of research on the web. So what I wanted, what I really had to have, was a powerful desktop computer. Then someone told me about Dell. I got on the internet. Dell built a desktop just for me. This direct way actually costs less. Okay, so I don't always use it for research.
Order a Dell Dimension desktop during the Dell School Sensation Sweepstakes, and you could win 2 new computers over the next 4 years, plus $10,000 for tuition. This Dimension desktop comes with an Intel Celeron processor at 400 megahertz. Everything you see here. Plus, DellNet Internet access for 1 year and Dell's 24-hour tech support. All for only $959. Visit our website by September 25th and order your Dell Dimension with Intel Celeron processor, and you'll be entered into our sweepstakes. There's one winner every day for 42 days.
That's cool.
Be direct. Dell.
Get ready for 17 weeks and 18 games of Rock'em Sock'em football under the lights.
Is it just me, or does that Chris Berman just get better looking each year?
Whoa.
What? ESPN Sunday Night Football. The season begins September 12th.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. Sports Center. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
Midway second quarter, 7-7. Louisiana Tech driving, scoring on a perfect touch pass. Rattay hitting John Simon. You know, Bobby Bowden saying all week this was a bigger challenge than what was originally their opener on the schedule, which was the Bobby-Terry matchup. Terry no longer the head coach at Auburn. Auburn said they weren't coming. They knew what would wait for them if they tried to take on Florida State under the circumstances since last year. And he said Louisiana Tech a much bigger challenge than Auburn, and he was right.
Much better offense. I don't think he expected this good a defense. Much better than Auburn on offense.
Hung way up by Ross Bernal. They are very conscious at Louisiana Tech of not allowing big returns. And there's a big tumble taken by one of the officials down there as they gather where it went out of bounds at the 20. Well, we asked Bobby Bowden what is in his mind the biggest obstacle for the Noles to win a national title.
All they have heard since last January is how good they are. That's all they've heard. You know, boy, best bunch of receivers we ever saw. Best offensive line. Look at all those running backs. Really, that's all we've heard. And some of it is true. We got some pretty good players coming back, you know. Now then, it's how much they can handle that and get back down to reality and realize they've got to go out there. We've got to go out there and do it now instead of talking about it.
He wants them to do it right now this series, and they start with Warwick for a first down on 11 yards to the 31. When you're preseason #1, it's almost been a curse. It very rarely turns into a national championship, and the last team to survive the preseason #1 target on the back was the '93 Florida State team. Only one team in the '80s. Oklahoma a couple of times in the '70s. Very seldom and never, in fact, has it been wire to wire. Remember, Florida State '93 knocked off by Notre Dame, lost the #1. Boston College came back, beat Notre Dame at the end of the regular season. Florida State won it after the bowl.
Some very disturbing trends for the Florida State players and coaching staff now. Veteran tackle Tarlos Thomas right there isn't ready to play. He moves before the ball is snapped, sets up quickly. The previous play, Damon
prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still second down.
There's the call by the official. The previous play on the completion, Winky got drilled. Damon Harrington blitzed, was not picked up by the back. Florida State on offense and defense is at least being equaled by this Louisiana Tech team, and that's something that probably shouldn't be happening.
So now 1st and 15, incomplete, not even close to the target, Nick Maddox. Ryan Bradford blitzing, putting the good pressure on Winky.
I tell you, when you're Bobby Bowden standing over there with an outstanding football team, and the execution's not coming, and the zip is not happening, and you don't see it in the eyes the way you wanted it, it's very disturbing. He'll have a very interesting visit with his men in the locker room if this continues till halftime.
Let's look again. And here it comes. Winky gets it off, and it is caught by the former quarterback, Dan Kendra, turned fullback, turned back for a big loss. Near the 15, Carlin Thomas ropes him for a loss of 10. Dan Kendra, who with a bruised shoulder was not able to challenge William McCray much preseason camp for fullback, but at least he's back on the field. Didn't play last year with an ACL. Hurt in the spring game. Backed up Thad Busby the 2 previous years. Tack on a Markoff coming for personal foul, I think, late hit against Florida State.
You would think Louisiana Tech would come in here and be intimidated by these surroundings. The team that is showing a lack of concentration is the Florida State team.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense, half a distance to the goal, 3rd down.
Now you got 3rd and eternity for Florida State. They're capable of picking it up. Anquan Bolin back in the game, who might be just the guy to do it. But with every one of these kinds of series, Louisiana Tech's confidence grows, and the ability of FSU to crack them, to break them with the pressure, diminishes.
Very quiet right now. 3rd and 33. Winky all day going deep for Warwick. Almost intercepted. That's a couple that have gone through the hands of Freddie Lewis. And they had Warwick surrounded. Triple coverage.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I were the secondary coach for either one of these teams, I believe we'd do some hand drills next week. Plenty of chances for interceptions here today. At least 3 that I can think of right in the hands. Freddie Lewis is the best DB on this team. You got to catch that ball against the Seminoles, run it back down to about the 30-yard line, and give your team some field position with the ball. They're going to get good field position anyhow.
Keith Cottrell from his own end zone, about 8 yards deep. Angelosi says fair catch at his 47. Look at the field position the Bulldogs will enjoy when they come back after a 45-yard Cottrell punt with 6:42 to go in the first half. All tied up.
We started out a pretty small business, but it sure wasn't small to us. We needed help, financial help. That's just what we got from the people at American Express Small Business Services. We got equipment financing for bigger stoves and faster computers, a line of credit to keep our cash flow flowing, plus the buying power to help our business grow. 1-800-SUCCESS was the best call we ever made. Like my father says, you can do anything you set your mind to, but you can't do it alone. He's right.
Hey, I'm at the hottest club in Chicago to talk about dandruff. Hey, anyone got dandruff?
No, I haven't.
Oh, no. Yeah, whatever. Someone's lying. No, flakes are normal, and they're easy to get rid of, big guy. Hey, you want to get shampooed with Dandruff Control Perk Plus?
Oh, serious? It's like 12 o'clock at night.
It helps prevent dandruff. So even if you don't have it, you won't have it. And I think you're going to want to use it on a regular basis.
I love it. So nice.
Oh, baby. That's Perk Plus Dandruff Control. Come on, let us wash your hair. We can change your mind.
Baseball isn't measured by time. It's measured by desire. The game moves toward the end, fueled by sweat and blood. And what matters then isn't how long it took to get there, but whether or not you have the stuff you need to finish it off.
Louisiana Tech 7-7, and they are set up near midfield to try and take a lead. Shocking as that would be at #1 Florida State. This Thursday, begin your college football weekend at 7:30 with College Game Night. And follow it up at 8 p.m. with Oregon's visit to Michigan State on ESPN with wideout Plaxico Burress. Set to shine for the Spartans this year. So here are the Bulldogs, first down. Heavy pressure that time, and Rattay got his arm hit by Chris Woods, coming in hard from the defensive line.
Chris Woods has really thrilled his coach, Odell Higgins. And David Warren, number 99. Chris is number 98, and David's number 99. We mentioned he's Earl Campbell's nephew. He runs like Earl, except maybe a little faster. He has run a 21.3, 200 meters at a body weight of 230 pounds.
Well, you hear all these numbers, and they just almost sound impossible. Angelosi, that's incomplete. Never had it. Defensive linemen that run like defensive backs do at a lot of schools, and they're all over this Florida State program.
This is the result of sheer hustle by Jerry Johnson. Starting defensive tackle a year ago has come back, and he's so glad that Corey Simon's getting all the attention, but he turned running inside out in pursuit and met the screen head on. There's a rocket screen coming down the line of scrimmage. A big stop opportunity for the FSU defense.
Their offense struggling, their defense trying to light a fire. Rattay on target again for the man who has their touchdown catch. John Simon, good for a first down and 11 yards. A running back who caught 40 passes last year. He's a bigger threat as a receiver than a runner.
Simon can play as a wide receiver, a slot, or a running back. A little pump fake to the quick screen and a throw to the post corner for the tailback. Rattay knows it's going to be a completion. No big deal. Yawn. Get back in the huddle.
John Simon, just a sophomore. Contributed big as a freshman out of Baton Rouge. Keeps the drive going. Seminole 41. Corey Addison. One, if that, up the middle.
Yeah, it's nothing doing knocking those Garnett shirts off the ball. Louisiana Tech offensive line, and that was Coach Bicknell's baby a year ago. He said, I really miss my guys, the old linemen. Well, they're going to have to get their pads down and move their feet better than that to move these guys. Coach Bicknell would love to still be coaching those old linemen, but you don't get to do that when you're the head coach.
Total yardage 171 Louisiana Tech, 118 Florida State. Marker down, incomplete. Intended for Fahim Ali. And a 5-yard mark-off coming up against the Bulldogs.
When you use as many players and as many formations as these two teams do, every now and then you're not going to have enough people on the line of scrimmage. That's almost certainly what happened there.
Let's go down to Chris Marlowe.
All right, Dave, after the last touchdown, Mickey Andrews was hot. He gathered the defense together and chewed them out. He said, we've got to get our act together, and he used a lot stronger language than that. Then he singled out the defensive backs, all 8 of them, and said, we've given up 3 third and longs already. We didn't do that in our last 5 games last year. Mickey very unhappy with his defensive unit's effort so far.
And since then, they gave up another 3rd and 10. This is 2nd and long. Rattay. Chase now turns, throws it all the way across the field and over Terry Pratt. A lot of energy expended for no gain, and Jamal Reynolds somehow lost his helmet.
Jamal works so hard. Those defensive ends play for Coach Jim Gladden. Jim is a terrific football coach. He's actually, David, he's been here longer than Bobby Bowden. Can you believe that? 25th year on the staff. Coach Bowden wisely retained him when he came, and he's working with the defensive ends. They play really hard. He ran right out from under his headgear that time. There's Coach. Everybody's word on that sideline.
So another 3rd and long. Incomplete this time, and that may be the only mistake John Simon has made in this first half. He would not have picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, and that's the first time I saw a poor play by Rattay. He had really fine protection on the previous play, the 2nd long, but he didn't trust it, so he started running around and got himself in trouble and ended up throwing the ball away. Had he stood there and shown the poise that he showed earlier in the game and trusted his protection, which was good, he might have had a chance to get somebody open.
So Price set to kick. Reggie Durden continues to alternate returning punts with Warwick, and it's Durden's turn. Flag thrown. This is not delay of game. They had plenty of time. 6 seconds on the snap clock.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
The tackle on this side of the line moved his outside foot. That was a little bit of a chintzy call by the official, but nonetheless, he thought it was movement. And he's down there looking down the line of scrimmage. Here's Durden hoping and praying for a chance to return one, but they're in safe punt expecting some kind of fake. Not likely on 4th and 15 or 18.
Wobbler will take a short bulldog hop down to the 16-yard line. And let's check into the studio with Brian Kennick.
All right, guys, get you up to date on this one. Notre Dame with 2 defensive touchdowns open things up on Kansas. It's 34-13. 13 and change left now in the 4th quarter. In this one, the Fighting Irish up on top. Also, remember, tonight, 8:30 Eastern Time, part 2 of our doubleheader. NC State and Texas without Ricky Williams, but Major Applewhite is back. Fellas?
NC State team capable of knocking off Florida State as they did last year with Wenke's 6 interceptions. Wenke has returned, and how would you gauge his first half? He's not really taken the big hit that everybody's holding their breath when that finally happens. Mostly on target. He's 11 of 19, 103.
Dave, we've had several bad snaps in the gun. Jared Moon put the ball on the ground. Now Eric Thomas is in at center, and they pulled Jared Moon.
To the running game, Travis Minor. Off tackle, his 9th carry, limited to only 14 yards so far.
Now the man for the Seminoles this year is going to be Peter Warrick. He was very involved in the early part of the game. Florida State's going to need to go back to some of these kinds of things and give him a chance to get this team back in the football game with a lead. He can go the distance on any play, any time. He's one of the great skilled athletes in college football and would have been a #1 draft choice had he come out. We hadn't seen much of him lately.
A lot of movement that time, and may have been first by Tarlos Thomas, although Carlin Thomas.
Oh, this is the point
across
drill.
The line also.
This is the point drill. This is where everybody gets up and points at each other, and the officials have to sort it out.
Well, the Thomases were pointing at one another because they were both moving.
It was you. No, it was you. What if somebody stood up and pointed at himself?
It was me. No, that's not going to happen.
Not likely. We sure are talking about it a long time. Gracious. I cannot tell you.
5 yards, still second down.
I cannot tell you how much Florida State does not resemble a #1 preseason team. Coach Bowden has got to be disturbed. Snaps going on the ground in the gun. Veteran linemen moving early, giving up 3rd and long, losing the field position game at this time, deep in their own territory. They need to activate Mr. Warrick.
Back at a 2nd and long, and in trouble and dropped back at the 7-yard line is Winky.
Chris has already taken a couple of shots after throwing the ball. I think that's the first time he's been sacked with the ball in his hand. He's up quickly. He's fine. That's what everybody wants to know about. It's been written and said so many times this week. The first time Chris Winky gets hit, there's going to be a collective withdrawal of breath. Well, now you can exhale. Chris is fine. The doctors cleared him. Coach Bowden said he's as healthy as anybody out there.
There's any question,
him to play.
Any question, he would not have suited up. Nunnery and Michael Boone collaborating on that sack, and from his end zone, 3rd and 19, just got it off. And a floater is picked off by Bobby Gray, the Rover, at the 25-yard line.
A terrible mistake by a veteran quarterback. Not only is the interception record broken, but he flat out threw it up for grabs. You've got to go ahead and take the safety. Kick the ball out and play some defense. Don't throw it up for grabs and give it to him on the 25-yard line. The odds on a decent offense scoring with the ball in this position are extremely high. Not something that Chris is going to be happy about when he reviews the film. And a marvelous catch by Gray. First time we've seen a DB look like an athlete with the ball in his hands today. Bobby Gray put his team in really fine field position. Now, on the flip side of that, Louisiana Tech's got to capitalize on this kind of thing if they want to stay in this game.
The streak ending at 238 in a row without a pick for Winky. It is an ACC mark. It was close to the all-time mark. Cangelosi with a move to the 16-yard line. Good job shaking Tommy Polly and getting himself an extra 2-3 yards. Finally wrapped up by Mario Edwards.
Now here's what's going on in the minds of the Louisiana Tech players. These guys are not as good as we thought. These guys are not like what we heard. These guys can be had. Bobby Bowden's been saying all week, hey, we can be had. I don't think anybody expected this.
Really have to think they've got to get some points out of this opportunity, though. As close as they are when they get that turnover. Cangelosi over the middle and inside the 5 and juggled it. Fumbled it away inside the 5. The Noles have it back. Sean Key with the recovery. Cangelosi, the sure-handed receiver, had them set up 1st and goal and looked up, and then it was gone.
Florida State not in their normal attack mode, not playing with the kind of abandon they normally do, but this is an exception for today. The ball's raked out right there by Clevan Thomas, and they are in they are so happy to have the ball at their 5-yard line. Cangelosi the veteran player knows better than to let that ball be knocked out from behind. You've got to rivet that football to your rib cage so that that doesn't happen.
Ran out of dye, apparently. So close to a stunning lead until Thomas ripped it away, and the alert recovery by Florida State's fine safety, Sean Key. Let's again check into the studio with Brian Keller.
All right, fellas, of course, a bit of a surprise here. We had a surprise earlier in the day. Is Penn State that good, or is Arizona that bad? We'll check in with that. Also, the game day crew is in Happy Valley. We'll check in with them. Also, highlights from Kansas and Notre Dame. That's coming up on the Buick Halftime Report. Let's send it back out to Tallahassee to Dave and Bill.
They run the toss sweep this time, not to Minor, but the talented freshman from Kannapolis, North Carolina, Nick Maddox, the North Carolina Player of the Year, gets the carry. Cangelosi trying to walk that off. Got to forget about it. They've got another half plus to play, and he will get more opportunities in this offense.
Nick Maddox chose the number 37 because Doak Walker wore that number, and Nick's high school coach idolized Doak Walker. And of course, Ricky Williams made such a major production out of being such a kind presence to Doak Walker in his last moments a year ago.
Timeout call by the Noles. A minute 57 to go. We're still tied.
NCAA Hall of Champions, a place to relive the action, savor the memories, discover what it means to be a true champion, and that might be the greatest moment sports has ever produced. The NCAA Hall of Champions, opening in downtown Indianapolis in March 2000.
Fifth time in a dozen years for Florida State to enter a season ranked #1, but Bobby Bowden does not have all happy memories. 93 the happiest when they finished as the #1 team in the country, but he mentioned two games in particular that still you could tell haunt him. 1988 opened with a 31-0 whitewash by Miami, and the next year they were ranked 6th. Southern Miss came in here, pulled off a 30-26 upset on a touchdown pass by 23 seconds to go by a then unknown Brett Favre. He was afraid the same thing could happen. Warwick will help with a big gainer on a reverse. He can hurt you catching, running, throwing, or returning. And this reverse goes 21 yards.
When you're struggling and you're not playing football as a team the way you should, what do? You go to your big gun. Here's a fine call by Mark Richt, the offensive coordinator. Get this guy on a reverse. You don't even have to block anybody. Nobody else on the field can run as fast as him. That's why it looks like there are 21 guys in one speed and one guy in another. Peter Warwick.
From the 34, incomplete, thrown slightly behind Talman Gardner.
Talman Gardner's got to make that catch. These veteran receivers, the ball's thrown slightly behind them. It's true that wasn't a great throw. I'll guarantee you a guy like Warwick comes up with that ball, and the rest of the players on this team have to do the same thing. You could say the same of Cangelosi and others. These are early season errors. These things will be buttoned up in the practice sessions next week, and what we're seeing is first game jitters.
Warwick already impressed with Gardner. Warwick came back for his senior year, but he says, hey, Gardner is not going to be here very long at all. Tom Masella has got to be ecstatic. Here's Bolden, the freshman. He's got a burst, and he's got a first down to the 46, 12 yards.
So after you go to your big gun, and they're expecting it, what do? You go to your little gun, your new gun. Looks like Bolden's limping a little bit. Sure, we'll get an update from the trainers.
Damon Harrington, the middle linebacker, tripped him up. Boy, but Tom Masella wanted a more aggressive defense and a more confident outlook, and he has huge check marks in both those categories, holding Florida State to 7 in 29 minutes of football. But they are driving. Flag is down, and hanging on this time is Gardner inside the 20. If it counts, it's 33 yards.
Offsides, Louisiana Tech, Florida State, with more than a minute to work with to try and break this tie.
This is Bobby Bowden football, vintage Bobby Bowden. He's not going to just run the clock out and go in and jump on his team. He's going to see if he can't get something before the half. Great throw and catch. Good coverage by Pernetter. Just concentration by Gardner, who wanted to atone for his previous sins, and he certainly did it.
Gardner, a two-time state 200 meters champion in Louisiana, great All-American. Missed last year after hernia surgery. Making his mark here. They run a reverse again for Warwick. Turn back inside. Bounces off Michael Boone. That's an awful lot of running and still going, and he's going to score. Unbelievable. Peter Warwick, 20 yards. Probably covering about 60. Bill, they had him 3 times.
No, David, they didn't have him. You thought they had him. They thought they had him. Peter did not think they had him. You can watch football a long time before you see another run like that.
Janikowski adds the extra point. 14-7. He came back for moments just like this one.
And what the offensive coordinator, Mark Brick, is saying to the football team, the whole football team, is the rest of you guys don't want to play. We're just going to keep giving it to Peter. You don't want to block anybody. He'll just run through everybody. Watch this. This is balance. This is determination. And this is power. But most of all, it is the kind of persistence that Bobby Bowden was taught in his 24 years at this school.
And he almost fumbled it.
Yeah, that was just an excitement. Just bobble it a little bit and make the crowd stay in the game.
Boy, players that he reminds you of, you got to put that right up with the best of Tim Brown or Johnny Rogers or Desmond Howard. Right up there in the pantheon of the great individual plays you'll ever see.
Lenny Moore, John Mackey, going up there in the Hall of Fame. You can reach right on up there because you can't do much better than that. How about this? How about Doak Walker?
Yeah. Never got to see him, but everything you read, he was always popping people's eyebrows out with plays much like that one by Peter Warwick. Andre Wadsworth, Warwick Dunn, Eric Brooks also returned for their senior seasons and passed up the big money for one more year of glory. And from the looks of things, it's going to work out just fine for Peter Warwick as well. Simon with the kick, 7 yards deep. Coming up at the half, our Buick halftime report with Brian Kenny and John Makovic. Boy, did the Lions ever roar against Arizona today. They made their bid for #1. The Irish are in action against Kansas. And a preview from NC State and Texas, which will follow us from Austin. This game stays close. Mark down that play not just for today, but for the rest of the season. The impact that could have could linger that long.
Oh, that'll go in the highlight film. But let me tell you something that's going to surprise you a little bit. The biggest impact of that means that now Coach Bowden can go in the locker room and really jump his team. When you're behind or tied and you're worried, you really shouldn't get on the guys. I think he'll take this opportunity. Now that they just got a big play and they're back in front, I think he'll wear them out. I think you can coach a little harder in those circumstances.
Boy, and you got to think about a 14-point swing, too, where Cangelosi fumbled inside the 5. Tech's right set up to move in, and they would have been up 14-7.
I bet you're surprised I said that, though. Aren't you surprised I said that?
I'm shocked.
That's what you're supposed to say.
And here it is by Cangelosi.
Yeah, the ball was just raked out. It was a very good play by Clavan Thomas, #8, who reached around him. But the veteran player should rivet that ball to his rib cage and lock it in. He knows they're going to be raking at it.
Well, if you had told the Bulldogs they go in at the half trailing by only 7, they take it. But strangely disappointed, you've got to figure, And for Florida State, they're just trying to figure out how to get some breathing room. What a debut it's been so far for Jack Bicknell III. 14-7, our halftime score, #1 in a struggle as we return to Brian Kenny.
All right, fellas, Brian Kenny, John Makovic here. Man, we're this close from a 14 to...
that are as varied as robotics, Roman archaeology, and professional aviation. They come to Louisiana Tech because we have the degrees of success. And because students know Tech.
A 5-touchdown favorite leads by 1. #1 Florida State only 14-7 over Louisiana Tech back here in Tallahassee. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, did that Florida State locker room sound the way I think it sounded at halftime?
You don't want to hear how it sounded. There's a great saying that I love on a buddy of mine's desk. To err is human. To find somebody to blame it on is sheer genius. So there's some finger pointing going on in there among the players. It's his fault, but the coaches are going to say something like, would some of you like to join Peter Warwick and play some Seminole football? Because he's the only guy that's out there busting it like we want you to bust it. Something like that. I never liked analysts who said what was going on in the locker room, but I'll guarantee the remarks are not far from that.
What about on the other side with Jack Bicknell in his first game as a head coach, playing tooth and nail with the top-rated team in the country?
Well, it's so exciting. He's walking a tightrope. First of all, he's got to remember what he said before the game. He's got to figure out, let's see, now what did I do to get him to play like that, and do it some more. But he can neither get them too excited, nor can he diminish their enthusiasm. He's got to get them to continue to play, forget the mistakes, and believe they're going to win the game, hope they can find a big play in the kicking game.
Jack Bicknell III, offensive line coach under Gary Croton the last 2 years. Croton moving on to the Chicago Bears staff as offensive coordinator. Leaving behind some talent, though, and that talent has been on display for the Bulldogs. Good numbers by Rattay, apparently headed toward yet another 300-plus yard afternoon. 1 touchdown. The costly fumble, though, toward the end of the first half, leading to the 95-yard drive. Ross Bernal's kick is returned by Nick Maddox. And the Noles will start after a 12-yard return at their 27. And let's check in down below with Chris Marlowe.
All right, Dave, Jack Bicknell, I got him coming off the field. He wasn't surprised with the effort, very happy with the protection for Rattay. He said the turnover was disappointing. I asked him what he could do to stop work. He said, I wish I knew. He also said his defense was getting tired at the end of the half, and he needed to water them up. Meanwhile, Bobby Bowden, he was hot. He said, we're getting our tails kicked. Our offensive line can't block. We're having trouble pressuring Rattay. I said, what can you do? And he said, I don't know. He's good. Dave?
Otherwise, how did you like to play Mrs. Lincoln? Wiki, short drop, and that will be a catch. Good for 7 yards, Jermaine Stringer. Now, what Florida State would love, if they can't score on one big gulp, which they're certainly capable of, is a methodical march just like the one that ended the first half.
Florida State, as we said at the top of the game, is going to continue to apply pressure. Offense, defense, special teams, waiting for a way to crack you. One of the cracks was the reverse to Warwick.
Much in this game for Travis Minor, their leading rusher as a freshman and a sophomore. Brought down here by Quincy Stewart, junior outside linebacker, undersized at just 6 feet 200 pounds, but Minor appears to be a little bit short of the first down, but close enough to measure. Tim Rattay in the first half, 18 of 28, 183 yards. Those are actually below average numbers for him against a mortal team, but he's playing the top defense in the country from a year ago and still bringing up big numbers by anybody's standards.
I think that's the measure of this kind of offense. You can run up 600 yards on teams that are down the line, but when you get against the #1 team in America defensively, and most of the starters are back for Florida State, and you get the same kinds of results. Now, he's not putting the points up there because there have been a couple of mistakes, most notably the Cangelosi fumble, but they're getting the yards, and most importantly of all, they're protecting the quarterback. Coach Bicknell was correct. Coach Bowden was also correct. His guys are not blocking very well at all. They're not getting anything going in the running game. What they'd like to do is ram it down the throat of this upstart team and put them away. It remains to be seen whether they can do that.
Just 20 yards difference in total yards, but Tech vowed to run the ball, and they have not established that aspect of their game yet. Minor got it by half the length of the ball. He takes it off left tackle. Across the 40, pickup of about 4 into the arms of the middle linebacker, Damon Harrington. You know, on most teams, Travis Minor would be the guy everybody talks about. He's as talented as he is, almost lost in the Peter Warrick headline shuffle here, and Winky and everybody else that he has to compete with for attention. 2nd and 6, caught by Morgan. Robert Morgan continues the drive into Bulldog territory. 12 yards.
When Florida State gets in this formation, which is a base I formation with a tight end and 2 wide receivers, this look right here that you see every day in every high school stadium across the country, they are going to play box football. They're going to count how many people are in the box. If there are 7 in the box and they got 8 blockers, then they're going to run the football. If there are 6 in the box, they're going to run the football still. If there are 8, then they're going to throw it.
Winky has to try and salvage something. He's going to get a loss of about 3 as Chris Willis and Otis Pitts, the inside lineman, bear down on him.
The question mark coming into this game is whether or not Chris Winky could handle the pressure, the physical pounding that he would inevitably take. I don't think anybody suspected he would get hit this much or that he would make a play like the one you just saw for the interception to Gray. But he's certainly holding up well. He's showing good poise. And I believe I can explain that in the box thing a lot better than I did a minute ago. I'll take another shot the next opportunity.
Much better protection this time. It's Warrick. And you have your heart in your throat every time he touches it now if you're a Bulldog. He's shy of the 1st, but he's reached the 40 where Michael John Leonard secures him, where that touchdown run broke 3 tackles, juggled it, almost fumbled it away. Crowd still had an audible buzz about it all the way through halftime. I don't think they quite believed what their own eyes had seen. His 8th catch, he's over 100 yards already.
Back in the shotgun now. That's a different offense than we were talking about a minute ago.
On time, and nobody had the tight end Ryan Sprague over the middle, all the way to the 13. For the ex-walk-on from Augusta, Georgia, a masterful 26-yard Winky to Sprague connection.
This is the first blown coverage we've seen all day. You're going to see Sprague come right down here in the middle of the field. This is the combination coverage, and the combination did not include anybody to cover the tight end. So a linebacker blew his coverage, should have been dropping into that zone on the backside of a 3 deep on one side and a 2 deep look on the other.
Understandable why you forget about the tight ends. They returned Sprague and Nick Franklin with a total of 3 catches from last year. Minor keeps it. They had a reverse look that time, but Minor all the way down to the 7-yard line.
One of the things Florida State loves to do when they get in scoring territory is to run the reverse and fake the reverse. The whole idea is to cut down on pursuit, and it worked there for a nice gain. Here we are again in the base formation with a tight end and 2 wideouts, but in goal line it's a little bit different situation.
McCray and Minor in the eye. McCray, the fullback, gets the carry. Powers his way to the 2 where it is 1st and goal, Seminole.
There was a time when Bobby Bowden would stand up in the lecture, and I know this because I was there and I heard him say it. We're going to run the fullback belly every time we're inside the 5-yard line, and we're going to run it over and over and over until we score. Now, I don't know if he would still say that, but there was a time when that's all he would run. 2 tight ends now to cut off the penetration from the corner or off the tackle's outside shoulder, and let's see if they keep handing it to the fullback.
Only wide out is Warrick. Minor, the tailback, not quite. Got down to the 1. Brian Bradford circled around, wrapped him up.
Should have handed it to the fullback. Absolutely should have. How could Bobby go away from his basics? He's down in Douglas, Georgia in 1959. He learned about fullback on the goal line, and he was below the gnat line. That's where you have to learn how to use those gnats as barbecue seasoning.
I guess they're not a problem if you're above the gnat line.
Absolutely not.
That time slipped it into the fullback, and all the way through the end zone is William McCray. Touchdown, Seminole.
Hey, it ain't difficult. Just go back to your basics.
McCray. McCray, only 22 carries last year. 2 were for touchdowns, and he has one here, and there is at last a little breathing room for Florida State and a little sense of relief in Doak Campbell Stadium. Janikowski makes it 21-7. William McCray goes 225 pounds. Junior from Jacksonville. Powers it across, and it's the Seminoles by 14.
Aniversario munene na ESPN.
It's my mom's birthday. She's in Washington. I don't know what to get her.
What'll make her happy?
Hearing from you. Come on. So dial 1-800-CALL-ATT and call her collect. It's the same low rate every minute, everywhere. Now 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Hi, Mama. This your daughter-in-law.
This is Propecia. Call 1-888-5-MERC-8 for more information and ask your doctor if Propecia is right for you. Propecia. What are you waiting for?
America's newest tire store has just the tires for you, and just the battery, and shocks, and brakes for your Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln. One-stop service with factory-trained technicians and competitive prices. Now get shocks for your car for $69 or less per pair installed. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Qualifications?
Oh, well, I was the first pick in the NFL draft.
Can you drive a forklift?
Play the Gatorade Win It Instantly game, and you could win a year's supply of Gatorade delivered by either Michael Jordan, Peyton Manning, Mia Hamm, or Mark Martin. Or a ton of other prizes, like your own Gatorade vending machine. Just look under the cap.
Peyton, you got to win in Phoenix.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Quality Care Service at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, helping you play longer and stronger when it counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you?
Almost walking distance away from the Florida State Capitol. Florida State 21-7. They scored late in the first half. They come right back with their first possession of the second half, and at last seem to be in control with 9:44 to go. Janikowski. Good deep kick. Simon from the 1. And a return of only 17 yards, tackled by Chris Hope. If necessary, Game 3 action of the WNBA Conference Finals. Monday night beginning at 8 p.m. the Eastern Conference Finals, Charlotte and New York, with Charlotte up 1-0 in the best of 3. And then the Western Final, LA and Houston at 10 p.m. And LA has the surprising 1-0 lead in the West. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. Houston very down, as you would expect after the loss of Kim Perrott, losing her battle to cancer, and not very competitive in that first game with LA. Short completion, Fahim Ali.
All right, Tim Rattay under pressure. Been hurried 3 times, knocked down 4 times. The ball has been deflected twice. exactly 0 sacks. That is not what the staff had in mind for Florida State. They've had a very difficult time getting to him, and that's a credit to the offensive line and to his ability to release. Only once has he panicked and blown a decent protection situation.
Well, the last 2 years, they've thrown 1,096 passes that had only 32 sacks. Incomplete, intended for Cangelosi. That works out to about 1 sack every 34 passes. As much as he's back there, Rattay clearly does not fear or shy away from contact, because it doesn't happen that often.
No, and here's a good job up front. Corey Simon, an All-American player, is being blocked rather well by Randy Richard. One of those lovely French names down in the Cajun country.
Rattay with a call at the line here on a big 3rd and 6.
Yeah, he'll go up with it. They're all wrong. And that's defensive holding, and it's not going to be called. Tay Cody had him by the shirt, ran right down the line of scrimmage with him and said, whoa, you're not going anywhere. And the officials missed it.
That is a big missed call. Delwyn Day not able to break free from Tay Cody. And it's a 3 and out. Big Nell saw it, though.
Well, you can bet Jack will see it in his dreams, too, but he didn't get the call. One of two things. They're either going to put it up in a situation like that because FSU had 11 up on the line of scrimmage, or they're going to run that down the line rocket screen.
Caleb Price, a transfer from Nicholls State. Senior from Shreveport. This is by far his deepest kick. And Warwick finally picking it up at the 28. About a 9-yard return. Seminoles will start after a 49-yard punt at the 38. 8:37 to go in the 3rd.
Announcing America's newest tire store, your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer. They have just the brand name tires for you. Tires designed and built for your Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln. All at competitive prices. Now the best place to get tires is from factory-trained technicians, the people who know your car best. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
This is Propecia, a pill that might interest you. Talk to your doctor. And call 1-888-5-MERC-9 to see if you're eligible for a $10 rebate certificate. Propecia. There's no reason to wait.
1-800-COLLECT presents Sergeant Savings.
Put down that phone private.
Who, me?
Didn't your mama teach you that dialing 1-800-COLLECT can save you $1 or $2?
I know it's cheaper. I always use 1-800-COLLECT.
Good, then make your call. Clean that phone, it's disgusting.
Is it me, guys? Or do we really look ridiculous?
Man, for free Bud Light, I'm doing 70s night.
Right on, brother.
Shut the door! You're letting in a draft!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Last year, Oregon destroyed Michigan State. The Spartans now want payback on their home field.
Oregon, Michigan State at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
Well, we started off in the mid-90s, but as we get close to sunset, it's almost comfortable. Nick Maddox, the prize freshman. Bobby Bowden said, why would a Nick Maddox come here? He knows he's behind a junior in Travis Minor and a senior listed number 2, Raymont Skaggs. He likes the idea of the challenge. And he's getting some early playing time here.
Great ones really don't care. They think they can play anyhow. And, of course, he is playing.
Right back out of the shotgun. Should be enough for the first down. Greg Moore with the catch.
Florida State's getting into a rhythm on offense now. They're not huddling. They are huddling. Then they're not huddling. They're changing their formations. They're going with the eye, then they're going with the gun. They've got the defense tired and off balance. They're doing exactly what they want to for the first time in this game.
You can just see on Winky's face he feels in control, and really for the first time. This one is a nice catch, swung out to Robert Morgan. quickly dropped right at midfield.
Now they're back in the I formation. What I was trying to say, I don't think you understood what I thought I was trying to say.
I was right with you. Say it again anyway.
When they get in that I formation, if they have more blockers than there are defenders, they'll run it. If not, they'll throw it. It's really that simple.
Matt Tyler jumped. Senior nose guard from Bossier City.
When you start to get tired, it's not always expressed by loafing or laying down or not making a play. You start to guess and you think, well, maybe I can just jump on the snap count here. And old Matt decided he was going to take a little gamble, and it didn't work. It just allows FSU to continue to dominate as they did in the first drive. And this is a critical part of the game. If they go on down and take this in, then Louisiana Tech is in trouble.
Where you were saying the constant pressure from Florida State really hadn't caused them to break. That may be about to happen.
Yeah, they need to get them stopped here. They really do.
Here's Maddox on a nice cutback, showing you why he was named North Carolina Player of the Year. 9.5 yards per carry and a state record 114 touchdowns.
The offensive line is taking command now. They're coming off the football. Good blocking. Tarlos Thomas up into the numbers. Ross Brannon up in the numbers of his men. Driving him back off the ball. Nick Maddox disappointed because he didn't pop that all the way.
It really started to take notice of Nick Maddox in the final preseason scrimmage when he carried it 15 times, 106 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He has leaped up right behind Miner in their tailback rotation. They again fake the reverse, and Maddox powers out about 4. Brandon Avance, as Louisiana Tech tries to keep fresh bodies in, and there for Harrington right now. Middle linebacker made the tackle.
The Florida State defensive players were saying that Travis Miner is more a power runner, and this guy's finesse. He looks like a water bug. He just darts and cuts, and he's here and then he's there, and makes people miss. It's fun to watch these great athletes play, unless you're playing against them.
And Kendrick getting a series at fullback. Winky throwing it behind Greg Moore. He's tried to hook up with Moore twice.
And it's heartwarming to see number 10 out there getting a chance to play some football. He came here as a highly touted quarterback and has moved to fullback, and he is a rock. I mean, he's a potential high draft choice as a fullback. The coaches say his problem is that he hasn't learned the techniques well enough. When he blocks, he hits with the top of his head instead of keeping his head up, and when he does that, it knocks him out. He might knock the linebacker out, but he goes down too.
That's also where you get the danger of neck and head injury. Winky with a pump fake, now ready to hang it up deep. And up the side and incomplete, intended for Warwick, who had come back in after getting a chance to rest on much of this series, and it'll be 4th and 6.
A good job by the defensive back, Kerry Davis, number 4 here, who keeps good position. He goes for the fake, but then he recovers quickly enough and has a good angle.
And a good elbow.
Little license there, just a little elbow. It might have been called had that ball been catchable.
Janikowski hit the right upright from right about this same spot. This will be 49 yards. And again has plenty of leg, and this time is good. The Lou Groza Award winner, junior from Daytona Beach, extends the lead to 24-7 for the Noles.
Arm strength, quickness, agility, and body control. The essential elements of the winning defensive baseball player. And with Coach Emanski's Defensive Drills video, you'll learn the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school. The Defensive Drills video features revolutionary training techniques developed by professional scout and instructor Tommy Nansky. Techniques that get results, producing baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams and even a gold medal in international competition. In a recent review, Collegiate Baseball Magazine exclaimed, with Coach Emanski's techniques, the future of baseball is here today. Even top professional players are impressed. Just ask Major League superstar Fred McGriff.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Emanski that I've given them my full endorsement
When you watch them, you'll know why.
The Defensive Drills video is available now for immediate shipping. It makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy, call toll-free 1-800-233-0500. That's 1-800-233-0500. Call now.
You're not hitting your anal! Let me help you! Don't forget to boost your plume! Yeah! Good job!
Bobby Gray had the defensive play of the afternoon for Louisiana Tech with a first half interception, but carried off the field. And we will get further word on his condition. Obviously a very key part of a tired Louisiana Tech defense, which has been on the field 19 of the 22 snaps this half.
Yeah, and they just had 10 men on the field for the kickoff and had to run somebody out there. They're starting to slip.
Janikowski's starting to get that leg loosened up. Simon with the touchback, and let's go to the studio and Brian Kenny.
All right, guys, thank you. Kevin Rogers, new assistant coach for Notre Dame, coming over from Syracuse, and Notre Dame out rushing Kansas 363 to 122. Tony Fisher here going 46 yards, and Notre Dame squashes Kansas 48 to 13. Earlier in the day, of course, Penn State very impressive, 41 to 7 the final there. Joe Paterno entering year number 50 in Happy Valley. Back to Dave and Bill.
And don't think that they're not savvy enough here to be aware of how the votes are going to swing even in this first week. Penn State fourth coming in and Florida State first. But as impressive as Penn State was, you know they're going to get some first place votes for that performance in Happy Valley today. Simon over the middle for about 5-6 yards. So important for Florida State to have a much more productive second half than what McNell's troops limited them to in the first half.
But you know what? The coaches are going to tell these players, you guys are looking at the scoreboard or counting your votes or reading your clippings or something. You don't need to wait till the second half to play. We're not going to be able to afford that luxury against other opponents.
Rattay really needed to get something established and has that one batted down. Pressure growing by the snap. David Warren, the former National High School Defensive Player of the Year from Tyler.
Yeah,
hometown of Earl Campbell, his uncle.
Great story about the recruiting of Warren. He wanted to come to Florida State only after he found out Peter Boulware was coming out. He had told him no thank you. And when Peter decided to go pro, Warren called him and said, hey, how about that? Could I still have a visit over there to Florida State? How's that for some tough recruiting? And a great player like that.
Kept him out of the burnt orange and white. To Texas dismay. Tip ball is intercepted. Chris Hope is inside the 30. Another one of their 29 former high school All-Americas. Hope, the South Carolina Player of the Year, a first-team parade and USA Today All-America, which makes him here in Tallahassee only typical.
This ball is thrown reasonably well, but once again it bounces off Cangelosi and up in the air. Defensive backs practice these tip drills daily. They should come down with ease. Florida State back in business, and we've talked all day about the terrible pressure that Florida State applies. Even when they're not playing at their very best, they keep coming at you in every way in football until they make you crack, and that's what we're seeing here.
So we wondered who would wear down first. Defensive line for Florida State not looking tired at all. Deep over the middle, another touchdown for the freshman Anquan Bolden.
a sometimes lost art in the game of football, faking by the quarterback. Chris Winkie did a marvelous job of making the football disappear from the defense, and then Bolden disappeared with his blazing speed on the post, and a perfect throw resulted in a touchdown.
31-7. Anquan Bolden in his third week as a wide receiver, a record-setting high school quarterback in Pahokee, Florida, has caught 2 catches, has 2 touchdowns. Mickey, what is so hard about this college football business?
Does it seem to you that folks are breathing a little easier around here? One of the ways you make a football disappear is to place it cleverly on your hip, as it does there. The linebackers bite. The defensive back lets the Bolden get inside him on the post. And it's another touchdown for the young freshman, who may just enjoy this receiver thing even more than he thought. Shepard, the redshirt freshman, number 20, who's getting an education. He's had a good day. He's made some key tackles. But you got to stay closer than that and hopefully stay on the inside hip of the post pattern in that coverage.
Anquan Bolden, Bill, set a state record in Florida, 11,433 total yards over his career. As a senior last year, he threw for 2,800, but he ran for 1,500. And either rushing or throwing was responsible for 56 touchdowns. Coaches always say, you get the end zone, act like you've been there before. He's been there before.
That's right. It wasn't a big deal. There wasn't much dancing or anything. And he said this is like cheating on a test, because all these great players show you how to perform. Well, obviously, he's been paying attention.
Smart enough to watch how it's supposed to be done. Janikowski, unreturnable, as are the majority of his kickoffs.
Well, there's Coach Mickey, the defensive coordinator, who may just let up on his fellows just a little bit. I think if they come out here and play better the rest of this half, they may not run as many gassers next week. Maybe. But I suspect they'll pay for that first half one way or the other, because the one thing you can count on at Florida State is these men work hard. This is one of the hardest working football camps I've ever witnessed. And I came here as a coach, and I've been here as an analyst. You've got to respect this coaching staff.
Rattay for Bobby Raytell. Bobby Ray, a big part of their opening drive, which used up quite a bit of the clock, and not much from him since then. He's run out of bounds by Roland Seymour. Well, in the second half, it has turned around after Louisiana Tech had a rather decided edge through the air in the first half.
And that was Roland Seymour, number 56, running stride for stride with Bobby Raytell, a defensive end who has about the same speed as a tailback. 4.45.
Tell, and should have the first down. It sounds like you misread something when you talk about all these defensive linemen who run 4.4 and 4.5, and most people's secondaries would be happy to run 4.4.
Well, you got NFL corners that don't run any faster than that. I mean, I'm not kidding. This is incredible speed that this team has, and that's why it must be such a disappointment when they don't play absolutely great football all the time. They are human, and they've picked it up here in the second half, and they're showing what they can do.
Which is dominate. They are determined to get Bobby Raytell to contribute, their 10th all-time rushing leader each of the last 2 years.
A lot of young players in the game for Florida State now. That's Octavius Jackson, number 94, another defensive end who runs well, a redshirt freshman. So it's good for these men to get some work.
Bulldogs like to make the point. People don't think we have a running game. A play like that, they consider their version of an option.
Exactly like a speed option with the ball pitched, without them getting a shot at the quarterback.
Everybody in tight, power eye look, and Tell will be very close to the first down across the 40. With the initial contact by Seymour. Might be close enough to measure.
Now it's going to be a first down. Did we say that that was a tailback play? I just couldn't resist it.
Bobby Ray, the tailback.
That's bad. You laughed, though. Thanks for laughing.
I'm easily amused.
Well, in this company, that's important.
Tech trying to get back in it near the 3-minute mark. Cangelosi sandwiched and couldn't bring that one in.
Too deep coverage. With the post corner route, Cangelosi normally comes down with balls like this. And one thing you would hope is that the fumble in the first half is not affecting him. You would hope that, but I'm afraid it is, because that's a ball he needs to catch. He usually catches balls in his hands, Dave. We were talking about the way Warwick does that. He tried to chest catch that thing, and it just went right through it, ricocheted. There are no shoulder pads that are built for catching a football.
He's over having a little discussion with himself. He has not been the same since the fumble. It happened late in the first half when it was 7-7 at the Seminole 5-yard line. Rattay incomplete. Over on the side for Delwyn Daig.
Things are coming unglued for Louisiana Tech, but I have to say I'm so impressed with Rattay, because not only is he an accurate passer and a fine leader, he has movement in the pocket. He knows how to evade the rush with a simple move to the left or the right and then find somebody open. I don't think you'll ever see this guy panic. He reminds me of Kim King, a great friend of mine, a last Georgia Tech quarterback to go to the Orange Bowl. Great leader.
That's his coach, the guy he used to snap it to at Boston College, Flutie. James Jordan coming over the middle, but well short of the first on a 3rd and 10. Under 3 minutes. That time they kept it a little bit, but not able to sustain anything, and the tired defense is going to have to head back out there.
Yeah, Bicknell is really hilarious talking about snapping the ball for Flutie on the Hail Mary play, and he says, I think I was holding on the thing. I don't believe I would say that.
Oh, he can say it now. Caleb Price right off the side of his foot. Big time shank.
And these are the hidden yardage factors that don't show up in the statistics. When you don't want to kick the ball to somebody like Warwick, or in this case Durden, #1, who is back to field the punt, and you keep trying to kick it out of bounds, you're going to shank the ball, you're going to kick some short, you give away field position, and that doesn't show up anywhere on the stat sheet, but great players cause those things to happen.
That punt goes all of 16 yards.
Both these teams have been pretty well buttoned up in the kicking game today. We haven't seen any block kicks, and that's a credit to the coaching and the training camp work.
Wenke all the way here in the 3rd quarter at quarterback. Marcus Outson had a couple of brief appearances in the first half. And Kendra carried.
I think there's a big hand, because that was Dan Kendra on the trap play, just taking the ball right up the pipe, and I know they would love to get him some work and get him loose, get that big horse loose in the secondary. Reminds me of Moose Johnston, the great fullback for the Cowboys. Size and speed.
All the recruits they have brought in here over the decades, they consider him their biggest catch ever. Back in '95, the National High School Player of the Year from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Father played for Bowden at West Virginia. And he came here as the most heralded quarterback they've ever had. Certainly has to be the biggest at 6'2", 255 with a huge arm. Rang up numbers backing up Thad Busby over the '96 and '97 season. '98 was to be his, and he tore his right ACL on a hit in the spring game. And from that point on, Bobby Bowden has said, all right, that's it. We're not hitting our quarterbacks in the spring anymore. It's too costly. A leaping catch at the 45 by Warwick, whose showtime day continues. 16 more yards.
Yeah, and this is a risky throw. The QB this time is lofting the ball up there and just sort of floated it to Wenke. I think he was lucky that some linebacker didn't intercede there and at least tip the ball away. He didn't get much on that. That was off the back foot.
Maddox with that Darting style of his, dragged down by Damon Harrington. He was ready to turn that one into a much bigger gainer than 5 yards, which he settles for.
Yeah, unofficially, we have Harrington for 5 tackles. He was their leading tackler returning this year. Good leader, very impressive young man. We had a nice visit with him last night. I said, how in the world does somebody end up from Elkton, Maryland, going to Louisiana Tech? He said, both my parents are Tech graduates. They strongly encouraged me to visit there.
They had directions to Ruston.
Yes.
Idolized Dick Butkus why he wears number 51. They will not get this snap off before the end of the 3rd quarter. Well, Florida State starting to look like Florida State, the #1 team in the country entering 1999. Peter Warrick has looked like the Heisman candidate he is, with 9 catches and a memorable touch.
America's newest tire store has just the tires for you, and just the battery, and shocks, and brakes for your Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln. One-stop service with factory-trained technicians and competitive prices. Now get a Motorcraft-tested tough battery for $59.95. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
I'm not a crazy cat lady or anything, but I am glued to this Animal Planet channel.
Animal Planet, like this monkey, you can't turn it off. I am hooked on emergency vets. It just pulls you right in.
They've got Judge Wapner's Animal Court.
And this crazy Australian dude, a crocodile hunter. They've even got sports.
With an animal twist.
Smells like fun.
Animal Planet. It brings out the human in us.
TV has evolved.
On Animal Planet, anything can happen.
Hi, and welcome to NFL Game Day 2000. Bill Dwyer here with Matt, Soft Rock Excursion.
First in New England, where Keyshawn tiptoes past Ty Law. When you look this good, you should have mirrors on the ceiling.
I do. To Minnesota, where Robert Smith won't need a new clock this Christmas because thanks to Warren Sapp, he just got his clean.
And in Pittsburgh, Bettis tells Darren Woodson, hi, my name's Jerome. I'm 5'11", 243, and enjoy taking long runs into the end zone.
I'm Bill. He's Matt. Please don't forget to call us for all your bachelorette party needs.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
You're probably wondering how I got this spot. 100 collect calls a day with 1-800-CALL-ATT.
1-800-CALL ATT. For the same low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Trouble doesn't wear a watch. That's why State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
Dust settling in Tallahassee as we start the 4th quarter. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, and Chris Marlowe. Florida State 17-0 in that 3rd quarter. They outgained Louisiana Tech 148-34. And we start the 4th with a toss to Maddox, who wants to throw it deep for Warrick, and overthrows him near the goal line. Let's go down to Chris Marlowe.
All right, Dave, all night long, you and Bill have been talking about the speed of Florida State, certainly one of the unsung heroes in this Florida State football program, strength and conditioning coach Dave Van Hallinger. You've talked about the speed. There he is. Think about the strength, however. 9 Seminoles bench press 500 pounds or more. 44 players bench press over 400. If these guys look strong and fast on TV, it's because they are.
Are they ever? Wakey given more and more time as this game winds down, and ready to run. And for all that, he would have done much better to take a slide around the 45. He reverse field for a loss of big yardage back right at midfield, chased there by Harrington and Chris Willis.
The Chris is not going to win the sprints. when they run after practice. Chris needs to stand right in there and take care of his protection and get rid of that football, because one thing that happens when you have back surgery, it really impacts your speed. And I'm sure Chris is accustomed to being a little quicker than he is, and he thinks he can escape, but he's at risk when he runs around like that.
For taking a few blows, and none the worse. No reason to feel that one. Simon caught it inside the 5, a definite no-no, and is hit at the 1-yard line by Malcolm Tatum. A 48-yard kick that should have gone into the end zone. Well, coming up tonight at 8:30 here on The Deuce, the BCA Classic, NC State, Texas. Major Applewhite, the Longhorns come into season number 16, minus Ricky Williams. NC State with returning quarterback Jamie Barnett, hoping to pull the upset in Austin tonight. That's following our game, 8:30 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com.
Every coaching staff in America lines their punt returners up on the 10-yard line. Son, your heels are on the 10. If it goes over your head, let it go. Simon forgot that rule.
They call this their star formation. The pass is batted down in the end zone by David Warren, who is getting warmed up. He gets quicker every snap, it looks like.
David wanted to catch that ball. He didn't want to bat it. He wanted to make the diving catch so that he could get on the highlight reel with Peter. All these guys have decided that they want to get in the game with Mr. Warwick here in the second half. They're playing like Seminoles probably should.
This time 3 wideouts on the near side. They had 4 in their star pattern last time. This one's picked off over the middle. Theon Rackley to the end zone. So Warren just setting the stage for Rackley, the senior from here in Tallahassee. Touchdown return, 37-7. Meanwhile, Joey Schutz, the standout left offensive tackle for the Bulldogs, down getting some attention at the goal line. Made his 24th consecutive start. He started with all but 1 game in his career. Senior from Denham Springs, Louisiana. As we look at the heroics of Theon Rackley.
Yeah, really, it's nothing quite so heroic as all that. It's just a simple zone coverage. He sits in his zone, and Rattay, very uncharacteristically, simply misses seeing him. He misread the coverage, probably thinking it was man, threw it right into the linebacker, not going through his sequence, and it's the first time we've seen a touch of panic. And again, referred to the pressure that Florida State constantly applies in every aspect of the game until they crack the opponent, and that's what's happened big time here in the second half.
Second interception by Florida State. Last year, Rattay, all those passes, only threw 23 interceptions over his last 2 years. That's compared to 80 touchdowns. That is the second best ratio of active quarterbacks to Chad Pennington of Marshall's. He doesn't do that very often. Rackley took advantage of one of the few easy interception opportunities that Tim Rattay will ever serve up.
Yeah, and Mickey Andrews gave us those incredible statistics, Dave. I know you remember that in the wins last year, the 6 wins by Louisiana Tech, Rattay had 34 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. In the 6 losses, or the 5 losses, he had 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And that ratio does not bode well when your interceptions match up with your touchdowns. And so Florida State's pressure continues to mount in this game, and this is what they do to virtually everybody they play.
Janikowski hits another one. Rattay last year, one of the great seasons any quarterback has ever had. When you get to him, that's when you beat Louisiana Tech.
Happy 20th anniversary, ESPN.
My goal is to run the mile in 5 minutes.
My goal
is to bench press 280.
My goal is to hit 30 home runs.
My goal is to throw a keg over a 20-foot wall. And if I don't, to get out of the way before it hits me in my head.
GNC's Pro Performance Creatine can help increase explosive muscle performance for high-intensity sports. Come into GNC and play the Pro Performance Training Camp game, and you could instantly win tickets to the Pro Football Championship or one of 26,000 prizes. GNC. Train hard, live well.
We're Everclear, just your average band of losers and one-hit wonders. You know, when I was a kid, it was always assumed that drugs were cool. Never talk about the damage it's going to do to you physically and mentally. My big brother was everything to me. He died of an overdose when I was 12 at the age of 21. He looked like he was about 45 years old from all the speed and heroin that he'd shot. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Figure it out for yourself. I don't know what else to say.
Seasoned business travelers appear to have discovered a higher level of civilization.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Quality Care Service at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, helping you play longer and stronger when it counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you?
Almost sold out Doak Campbell Stadium. Much more at ease. There was a definite air of what's going on here toward the end of the first half. And Florida State stretching it out, adding a defensive touchdown. Fionn Brackley on the intercept, 38-7 with 13:40 to play. And a flag down on yet another deep kickoff by Janikowski.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the kicking team. 15 yards from the 20-yard line. First down.
Rather unusual on a touchback.
Yeah, I saw what happened. A couple of the guys, one tried to block the other and knocked him into the back of another player, and I really don't think that there was a penalty there, but the officials didn't see the whole play. The officials' rule generally is that you got to see the whole play to make a call. Otherwise, it's no call. I think the guy was knocked into the I think the Louisiana Tech player, or rather the FSU player, was knocked into the other player, and he did not intend to hit him from the rear. Nonetheless, it's a nice game, about the best game of this half for Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, they hadn't started from the 35 very often at all. So they will take it. Rattay will try to shake off his second interception. Time is of the essence, and he has had very little of it against this pressure this second half. Tomorrow on ABC Sports at 2:30, number 9 Ohio State against number 12 Miami in the kickoff classic from Giants Stadium. Can't remember a year that started with two better matchups, the number 3 against number 4, which we had today, Arizona Penn State. Two more in the top 12 tomorrow with the Hurricanes and the Buckeyes.
It's one of the best starts we've ever had.
Rattay on the ground for Bobby Ray Tell. About 8 yards for Tell.
Yeah, Rattay and the coaches wisely. That's called a cartilage play. That the way David Warren, he wasn't intentionally trying to injure Rattay, but he was stumbling and drove into his kneecap, which can cause a hyperextension or a torn ACL ligament. And they went back and started running the ball. I think that was pretty smart. They're staying in their run formation here, short yardage.
Bobby Raytel hooked up to an IV with fever yesterday. Some question whether he would play. He has played and played pretty well, and he has the first down at midfield.
Yeah, he's played very well, and you got to say this for Louisiana Tech. They're showing courage. They're continuing to play hard in the face of some mistakes by their star players, and that bodes well for the future.
Well, Florida State trying to become the first team to ever stay #1 an entire season's length. It has never happened. Very few times have you been ranked first at the beginning and the end. They've got some challenges, and game 2 in 2 weeks will be one of the biggest. Georgia Tech, co-champions in the ACC last year. They've got Miami as usual. They've got Florida as usual. Delwyn Daig on the little turn in for about 4. And then in the second half, they go to Clemson, and it's Bowden versus Bowden. It'll be Tommy against his dad, followed by the trip to Virginia. They can go into the swamp and win. They will be worth whatever ranking they have at that point.
Anybody that can go into the swamp and win deserves whatever they get, because that is really hard to do. It's kind of like trying to win here if you're on the road.
They are bearing down on him again, and it's fumbled, but they're going to rule him dead. Tommy Polley all over Rattay, and Octavius Jackson's return for the would-be touchdown won't be.
This is a zone blitz with Polley coming off the corner, linemen dropping into coverage, and they take away those little crossing routes that Rattay makes a living on. And plus, he may be a little hesitant now after the interception for the touchdown, and he really got drilled.
Boy, he really got lucky, too. I don't think he was down.
I don't think he was down, and Octavius does not appreciate the call. Octavius calls himself OJ. I sat in some meetings with those guys this week because I was using their room to watch the tapes, and good to see a young player get some action and actually get the football.
Almost a pick for Polley. After the sack, he had one served up right in his hands, and he had 35 yards of nothing ahead of him.
There'll be a lot of tip drills and hands drills for both these teams this week.
So 4th and 15. Really only a couple of extended drives for the Bulldogs today.
I didn't see anything on tape in which Rattay made as many poor decisions as he's made here recently. And I think that's a tribute to the way Florida State plays football and keeps the pressure on until they crack even the best players and teams.
He's used to 3 seconds to get it off. He's getting about a second,
Yep.
second and a half. After the shank, Caleb Price. This one to the 21, Reggie Durden. Knocked out after a nice return. And his opposite number 1, Derek Parker, ended a 13-yard return. 10:48 to go.
At Transamerica,
why?
We have specially priced life insurance policies for people who still exercise without a trainer. Call a Transamerica agent. The people in the pyramid working for you. With Transamerica Life Insurance and your estate plan, you can be sure your money will go where you want it to go. The people in the pyramid working for you.
Hey there, from Plank Road. We're down here side by each in my custom bomb shelter, which of course is stocked with plenty of canned goods, and I'm not talking about lima beans, okay? I'm talking about the beer with the never watered down taste.
Ice House.
Yes. Down here, we have the freedom to do whatever our hearts desire.
This is awesome!
What can we say? Out here, our world is beer.
On any road, in any kind of weather, you can find yourself out of luck with a flat tire. But not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you keep driving to safety. Goodyear AquaSteel Run Flat. It could be the difference between finding yourself out of luck or finding the safe way home. AquaSteel Run Flat, only from Goodyear.
Last year, Oregon destroyed Michigan State. The Spartans now want payback on their home field.
Oregon, Michigan State at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Gillette Mach 3, the first triple blade razor, and by 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save.
Florida State fans are used to high rankings, an unprecedented 12 straight years in the top 5 for their program.
Top 4, David. Top 4.
Depending on which poll you like. Coaches have them in the top 5, writers in the top 4. 5th time in that period they have entered a year number 1. Marcus Outson has entered as quarterback. And that throw over the middle is complete for Talman Gardner, who has returned after limping off earlier. He's apparently okay. Chris Marlowe, what about the others who have been helped off?
Well, Joey Schutz for La Tech, number 66. He's done for the night. He's got a knee sprain. Bobby Gray had cramps. They took him into the locker room. They treated him with IVs. Back on the sidelines. In fact, I see him right now, so he's back in the game. So apparently the IV worked. And Talman Gardner, he's got a right thigh bruise, but they told me he's going to be back in.
Yeah, he looks just fine. First down catch at the 48. Outson for Maddox, who has been a factor. Much more so, really, at least in the second half, than Minor, getting a lot of carries, and this one good for another first down, a pickup of 11.
There have been times when Coach Bowden has been criticized for appearing to run up the score. He doesn't intentionally run up the score. He puts his backup players in like Outson. He wants him to run the whole offense. So if he comes to the line of scrimmage and he sees 8 in the box when they've got a tight end and 2 wide receivers, he'll still call the audible and throw the ball. That's not an attempt to embarrass anybody. That's just running the offense. So you may see some of that in this kind of situation.
Maddox 6 carries, 41 yards. Minor held at 29 on 13 carries. Outson right on target. His best pass of the day for backup tight end Patrick Hughes.
Well executed bootleg, a naked boot.
As we said, Bobby Bowden has been here before, trying to go wire to wire for the first time ever. How does this team compare to his past preseason number 1s?
We're a pretty good ball club in 91. We won 10 games and lost the last 2, I believe, then won the bowl game. 88, very much the same way. A team that was number 2 in the nation the year before, with everybody coming back. We thought that would be it. Got blown out the first ball game. So it's the same thing. We're going through the same thing. At least we know the pitfalls. At least we know what happened to those other teams, you know. And we must not let it happen to us.
Welcome by Derek Parker.
Bill, in his position, how do you keep the players' feet firmly on the ground? How do you give them reality?
Well, you do exactly what Bobby does, which is to talk team, team, team. He's got so many great players that everybody wants the football. He said, my problem is there's only one ball. I can't get it to a bunch of people 1,000 times a game. So you're going to have to earn that. And I think having a guy like Warwick helps because he gets a lot of touches because he's earned it on the practice field. He's a worker. I think Bobby builds on that, and so does his staff.
He even got a motto from Warwick, which is posted over the exit from their locker room. Gardner, first and goal inside the 10.
Complete to number 21.
Outson on target for 14 yards. When Warwick announced that he was coming back, he kind of set the tone. This is a beauty from Outson.
Yeah, once again, a good fake of the toss sweep and then a throw to the backside post.
I would love the quote where Warwick said, it's not all about me. And so there is, sure enough, a sign above the door that says, team. It's not all about me, and they have to see that and hopefully take it to heart every day.
That's right, and they have to listen to Peter on the practice field because Warwick is in their face. He is a real leader.
High formation, and Kendra, the powerful fullback. Mark Richt says he is really made for this position, although obviously never having had to play it. As a highly decorated quarterback, and he is still highly popular. They love seeing him back out here after his lost year of 1998.
That's right, and he embodies the very principles that have made this a great program for Coach Bowden. When you go to their practice field, there are only 2 words visible: enthusiasm and persistence. And persistence is up twice, coming and going. Kendra embodies those two principles.
Outson turned the wrong way. Marker is down. Maddox knocked back by a swarm led by Michael John Leonard.
Do you think they'd penalize the quarterback for turning the wrong way in this stadium?
I didn't think.
They should.
I think that was illegal, just unadvisable. Well, they won't penalize Outson.
Well, a nice recovery, but the defense lined up off sides. So many mistakes now by Louisiana Tech. They continue to keep drives alive for Florida State, even when Florida State doesn't execute. But I got to tell you, I don't know when I've been more impressed with a young head coach than Jack Bicknell III. His dad's a wonderful man and a wonderful coach, one of the people who was a mentor for me. And this young guy is going to do very well. He's bright, he's aggressive, he understands football, he has a good sense of humor and a good balance about him. He'll do well with this program.
You get the feeling his blood pressure at the end of the year shouldn't be much different than at the beginning of the year.
Well, I hope that's the case.
Outson's blood pressure just rose a little bit, and he is slow getting up after jumping on his own fumble.
He got dinged. There have been center quarterback exchange problems here, not just with him, but with Winky as well. And it seems that Jared Moon, number 54, has been in the game for virtually all of them. And I think that the right principles, you can't blame it on the center or the quarterback. Both of them have to take responsibility when this happens. That ball's flying around loose, and that is dangerous. You can get hurt like that because it draws a crowd.
Curtis Randall jumped on Outson, and Florida State's going to use the timeout with 7:32 to go.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're going to love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You got to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
Rick, this is Mike Holmgren, and I'm not the Mike Holmgren. I'm just a guy in Seattle with the same name as a coach. So go ahead, bench the entire Seahawks D if they get face mask penalties against other players in your fantasy league. Don't call this number again.
Counting down to number 1. While some of his incredible records in a 32-year career have been surpassed, no one will ever match his toughness. Sports Century athlete number 21, Gordie Howe. Friday at 9:30 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
Texas set to have the best recruiting class in the nation. Major Applewhite is back, taking on Jamie Barnett and NC State. That's coming up next, just moments away. Let's back to Tallahassee and Dave.
Okay, everybody but Major Applewhite says, when does Chris Sims' time come? And Major Applewhite says it may not come this year. They're going to play them both, but as far as giving up that starting job, that is not a given in his mind. Outson shaking off the blow apparently to his elbow and ready to go from the shotgun. Slant in is incomplete, intended for Anquan Bolden, who scored on each of his first 2 collegiate receptions. What about shocked not to have his 3rd touchdown there, and it's 4th and goal.
Well, he had company that time. The fellas looked him up. They just wanted to make sure he understood that it wasn't always going to be touchdowns and glory in major college football.
Janikowski, or a couple of his kicks would have been good from well over 60 yards today. He won't need that much leg on this one. This is 24 yards, straight up the middle and good.
He's made them from 70 in practice, and he's jumping on people. He's excited about it.
Usually you wouldn't mind a kicker jumping on you, but he's 255.
Yeah, I think I would go back on the sideline and say, I appreciate if you just, pat me on the back. It'd be fine. David Newman, the tight end. Don't jump on me.
How about a hearty handshake? Whatever happened to that?
No, that was Ryan Sprague, number 85, that he jumped on. Ryan actually caught him and held him for a second.
Well, Jack Bicknell III played for his dad at Boston College, and they were the glory years when Doug Flutie won the Heisman in '84. And if there was one play that sealed it for Doug Flutie, it was Hail Mary in the Orange Bowl against Miami.
What people forget about that game was what a great game it was, first of all. And I promise you, in that huddle with 46 seconds left or whatever it was when we started that drive, everyone truly believed we were going to win that game somehow, some way. And that play was a special play. I actually take all the credit for that play because I missed my guy and that forced Doug out of the pocket there. And it was a great play. I was nervous. I held on the play, so everybody was running down and celebrating. I was looking for yellow flags, but it was a great play. And obviously, even today when I see it on tape or something, I get goosebumps because it was something we'll always remember.
Yeah, and that gives me a chance to say what really needs to be said every Saturday, and that is that the center is the most important player on the field. Flutie would have never made that play.
Well, here it gets said.
Jack hadn't have done such a great job, and I do not think that was holding Jack.
Fortunately for him, neither did the officials. Another touchback. 7:17 to go. What an enjoyable guy. When have we had a tougher time keeping up with the one-liners from both head coaches? Just a steady stream. Such entertaining characters, both of them.
Yeah, and you would think that he would be uptight. I was certainly uptight before my first game coaching against the legend. He's going up against Bobby Bowden, and he's cracking us up with his sense of humor. And I just pray he can keep that. That's real important to him. It's more important to his family and his players. And he promised that he would do that. So maybe his dad will hold him to it.
Rattay hassled the entire second half, gets this one off, and it's complete for Jordan, who has a first down to the 32, 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, Jordan is a fine-looking athlete. Being on the practice field with him yesterday, he's a big, powerful receiver, good speed, good hands. Didn't get much action in today's game, but I'm sure he'll have a good season. These guys got a tough schedule, and they played so well in the first half. They can build on what happened in the first half. They've just got to learn to sustain it for 4 quarters and be sure that they understand that mistakes will kill them against teams like this or Texas A&M or Southern Cal and the other folks on their schedule.
This turned on a forced mistake. Angelosi inside the 5, had it knocked free. This one for Fahim Ali, who gets to come home to his home state of Florida. He's from Miami, and he's got it at the 37. Sports Center new on ESPN2. Yeah, here on the Deuce every Saturday 6 to 10 a.m. and every Sunday from 7 to 9 a.m. Sports Center on ESPN2. Cooling down, and Florida State now sitting back and enjoying the final moments of their initial win at 99. That one knocked out of the hands of Tell, but he really had no gain anyway. Game turned on a mistake, but it's as much a good play by the defense of Florida State as it was a mistake, if it was that at all, by Cangelosi. That was when at the end of the first half, Tech's ready to go up 14-7. Left enough time on the clock for State to drive 95 yards. Going at the half up 14-7 themselves, and they have never turned back.
No, I think that was a turning point, but I don't think it would have mattered. They came out in the second half and played with a vengeance. The coaches got them going. I think that would have happened anyway. And right now, they're still hitting. That's the starting rover. Derek Gibson right there. They're smashing. They're not messing around anymore. They're not logging around the way they were in the first quarter. I think what happened was a little bit of what Coach Bowden feared. They came out just a little bit complacent. Got knocked around a little bit. Found themselves tied against a team that probably shouldn't have been in that position, and then got serious.
Gibson gives up 45 pounds to David Newman, the tight end who made that first down catch. You'd never know it by the collision. But he's one of those 400-pound bench pressers. Twice his weight. Brian Allen, starting strong side backer, over twice his weight. He goes 225 benches, 500 pounds, and they've got a bunch of those up and down their roster. Tell on the carry. Did you ever play with anybody who could bench press 500 pounds, even 400 pounds?
Oh, I played with some people that could bench press 400 pounds, but they didn't know it. because they didn't lift weights. I mean, guys like Jim Parker, he could have lifted the side of a house, but weightlifting was not a big thing back in those days. Now, my dad, Willie Red Curry, was preaching weightlifting in the 40s, and he predicted that everybody would be lifting. He's 81 now, and he's really enjoying all this. He just chuckles because everybody's lifting weights like he predicted, but it just wasn't done much, except at my house growing up.
Well, everybody lifts, but obviously not everybody lifts the way the Seminoles do.
Oh, good play.
Simon.
Good football
Wiped out, 43-yard line, as Brian Stallworth has checked in at quarterback.
The Bradley Jennings is the guy they call the thump or the thud. The way he hits people resounds all over the practice field and jacks up his whole team. Nice job. He can also run. Starting middle linebacker. This is his first day to start. Hadn't said much about him, but you see the capacity that he has when he needs it.
So Rattay might be done, and the sophomore from Baton Rouge, Brian Stallworth, threw only 14 passes last year, played in 6 games. Tucks and runs here. Out of bounds at the 47. Louisiana Tech will sprinkle in these high-profile matchups. And they've had their share of winning seasons. Last year they broke even at 6-6. But they come right back after opening at Florida State by hosting Texas A&M, a top 10 team themselves, in Shreveport, Independence Stadium next week. Got a trip for Alabama coming up later.
Dave, at the half, we talked about Louisiana Tech trying to get something big in the kicking game, but the game disappeared from them before they had a chance. So it's unlikely we'd see any kind of fake in a situation like this.
Very short kick again by Price. Marked out at the 30. Just 23 yards. The cool of the evening for Winky and the nose.
I believe in taking the time to be right. Because
right.
it's a lot faster.
Because it's a lot faster than being wrong.
I believe in taking my clients seriously. And myself less so.
I believe integrity doesn't hinder performance. It is performance.
I believe we are driven to succeed because we are unwilling to fail. I work for J.P. Morgan.
Trabajo en JP Morgan.
I work for J.P. Morgan.
Got him.
Yeah, if I could only see.
I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge Excel has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge Excel, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
Welcome to NFL Game Day 2000. I'm Bill Dwyer, and alongside me is Matt. I live in my parents' basement Vascursion.
In Buffalo, where Peyton Manning is sacked, Bruce Smith with his ongoing thesis, do quarterbacks taste like chicken?
At Mile High, keep your eye on Terrell Davis. He chops, he slices, he dices. Sales tax may apply, not available in Alaska, Maine, and Wisconsin.
And in San Francisco, Young says to Owens, why go ground when for just a few dollars more we could go air?
You make me so proud. Sometimes I forget you're not my real son.
Jamie Barnett, the leading passer in the ACC last year. It's NC State and Texas. And Dave, it's cooling off where you are, but they tell us it's 98 degrees in Austin. We'll be there soon.
Yeah, it was close to 98 when we started about 3 hours or so here in Tallahassee. 4:27 to go. Third quarterback of the day, Jared Jones, sophomore from Walla Walla, Washington, and he guns it on his first snap and on a hot trapped by Gardner. Jared Jones from Walla Walla, Washington, the same high school as Drew Bledsoe, and this will be holding Seminoles. They would have redshirted him last year, but when Winky went down and Outson took over, they felt they had to get Jones some game experience in case Outson went down.
Exactly, and I think Coach Bowden has a good policy here. When we said, are you going to redshirt Jones, he said, we thought we had it done last year and then we had to use him, and we're going to leave it up to him. So obviously he's decided he wants to play.
That question's been answered.
Yeah, so I mean, he's out there playing, and maybe Outson got nicked a while ago, or maybe they're not thrilled with Outson's performance. We'll just have to see how that breaks out as the year wears on.
Jones, Winkie, Kendra, all former parade All-American quarterbacks. Jones also drafted for baseball by the Orioles. But he came all the way across the country because he had always wanted to be a Seminole. Nick Maddox hit at the 16. Let's go down to Chris Marlowe.
All right, Dave, the Bulldogs wide receiver coach is Conroy Hines, and interestingly, back in 1988, he was Louisiana Tech's starting quarterback. The last time La Tech faced Florida State, the score that day, 66-3 Seminoles. I asked him what he remembered most about that game. He said two things. First, he got knocked out of the game in the third quarter. He was taken off the field with a separated shoulder. And second, before that, he thought he had a touchdown pass. Over the middle, Bobby Slaughter had him going. Slaughter was in the clear, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, to run him down or walk him down was Deion Sanders. Back to you.
Haunts him to this day. Maddox takes the swing pass. Broke a couple of tackles. Reaches the 28. Maddox has impressed today, even more so than Travis Miner, who's had very limited numbers and really no action at all in the second half to speak of.
I think so. He's got it's just a knack for running. It's an instinctive thing. He feels things. He has excellent peripheral vision, and he can move his feet and stop on a dime and change direction, and that's how he makes people miss, not unlike Warren.
So Jones looking at 3rd and 12 as we go under 3 minutes. Play fake was to Maddox. Throw over the middle is for Bolden, and he couldn't hang on. Would have had the first down.
Nice job of pass protection right there by number 75, Sharon Dorsey. Big Sharon came in at 345, which was, I mean, I can't even imagine these body weights. And a guy that's as athletic as that set up, moved his feet very well, protected his quarterback, and must feel a little better about himself. He's gotten about 15 of those pounds off, and I think he's got about 15 to go.
Listed 6'7", 325. They want him around 315. He may get there today. They went after the punt that time. Cottrell got it off. Jordan watches it take a Seminole bounce to the 25. And it's a 47-yarder. What a day for Peter Warwick, kicking off his Heisman campaign in style.
If you ever wondered what a #1 draft choice looks like, this is what a #1 draft choice looks like. I just wish you could have seen him Thursday at practice. Now, he didn't practice this one. The coaches don't teach this. The high dribble is not part of the process normally, but the determination and the persistence and the enthusiasm to match Bobby Bowden's key words are part of the program. Warwick is a reflection of it, and he's back for his last year, and everybody here is happy about it, including Peter.
With those 9 catches, 2 carries, you saw the last one. And I would predict conservatively you're going to see that about 300 more times before the season's over. 41 yards and that score on the ground. Probably see him throw a pass at some point this season.
Well, he threw one for a touchdown against the Gators last year. Iced the game. He may leap a tall building or two.
One of the guys that is saying they were really influenced by a visit not long ago by Deion Sanders. Came in, helped them get their thoughts together, prepared them for the season. One of the things he said is get your hair right, get the hair looking like a pro. That's exactly what he'll be soon. Slant in for Corey Berlin, redshirt freshman, makes the catch. That's what a #1 draft pick looks like.
That's what he looks like, and a guy like Deion that comes back to his school and exerts a positive influence is really, really important. You just can't imagine the impact that has on the players. And for Warwick to give him credit for being positive and encouraging him to continue to work hard says a great deal about Sanders.
Coaches say he shows up and practice kind of stops dead in its tracks so they can regain their attention several minutes later. That is ruled a catch by Ali.
Yeah, Mickey Andrews was funny talking about their camp when they had all the kids out there. He said Deion showed up and ruined everything for a couple of hours, and he said after we were able to get him out of the way, we were able to go back to work and teach those youngsters some football. Mickey's feeling a good bit better about his men right now, and Coach Bowden's feeling a little bit better about his Triple Crown possibilities the opportunity to go wire to wire, be undefeated for the first time, so that he can add his legacy to Terry and Tommy, the Bowden coaches who have had undefeated seasons.
Shaky first half has turned into a dominant second half. Price forces a fair catch by Warwick at the 28. Don't forget, coming up in just minutes here on ESPN2, it's the BCA Classic. It's North Carolina State and Texas from Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin. Life Without Ricky begins tonight for the Horns. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network. Go.com. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten are set to go from Austin. We're in our final minute here in Tallahassee. Lots of Seminole pride on display. A near sellout in a stadium that has been expanded. This is how you know you're succeeding as a head coach. As Jones remains the quarterback, and his toss to Lamar Parrish. You know you're doing something right when they expand the stadium 11 times in your era. That's what they've done since Bowden showed up in '76.
Dave, you know you're doing something right when you're in the top 4 12 times in a row. You're doing pretty well when you do that. I'd say for 12 times in the top 4, you get 11 expansions. You get 25 expansions.
Sounds about right. Should be the last play of the first win of 1999 for the Noles, but it won't be.
You were trying so hard to get this game over. You don't even have a flight tonight.
No harder than the Bulldogs are. That intended for Patrick Hughes. 6 seconds. Bobby Bowden now 7 wins away from becoming the 5th ever with 300 in Division I. 34 years, has lost only 85. Parrish wraps it up, a 41-7 victory for #1 Florida State over a game Louisiana Tech. For Bill Curry and Chris Marlowe, so long. Now let's go to College Football Today, presented by J.P. Morgan with Brian Kenny.
All right, fellas, thank you very much.